flee. After the encounter has been resolved is the time to address any complaints. Comply now, complain later. Keep everybody safe. This message brought to you by the National Police Association. To learn more about how to help law enforcement accomplish its goals, visit nationalpolice.org.
Don't miss Golf Shop Radio this Saturday from 8 to 10. Presented by PlayGolfMyrtleBeach.com, the golf capital of the world. Mark Greenhouse and Matt Blanchard go from tee to green and everything in between. Welcome to the Golf Shop.
It's the Asheville Turkey Trot 5K and Gobble Wobble, Thursday, November 23rd in downtown Asheville. The 23rd running of this great event starts at 9:15 Thanksgiving morning with the Gobble Wobble 1 mile fun run starting at 8:30. Part of the proceeds benefit Manna Food Bank. Last year, over 2,000 runners helped create 24,000 meals for Manna during the holiday season. So before you hit the buffet, come out and hit the streets. For more information and to get signed up, go to AshevilleTurkeyTrot.com. AshevilleTurkeyTrot.com. Proudly sponsored by iHeartMedia Asheville.
From the Ingalls Studios, this is ESPN Asheville, WPEK, W225CJ Fairview, WMXF Waynesville, and iHeart Radio Station.
Now, your chance to win $1,000. Just enter this nationwide keyword on our website, bank. That's bank. Enter it now.
Log on now to ESPNAVL.com.
The pounding begins. The wagons are circled. Every wind is raidered. It's football time in America, and this republic has never been stronger. The Sportsocracy, Beer City's best sports talk, live from the Ingalls studio.
It is the Sportsocracy, and we are live in the Ingalls studio on ESPN Asheville. 92.9 FM, 880 AM, and 1400. The Sportsocracy heard everywhere on the iHeart Radio app, and we are seen everywhere on the YouTubes. Just go to thesportsocracy.com, click the live video link. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel so you can join us in the chat. It is, I guess it's a Power Ranking Wednesday. I mean, we did do college football power rankings coming up in the next hour. Jeremy's apparently got some bug up his tail about Christian Hackenberg. I don't know what. No, I don't know what's going on with you.
It's time, Tennessee Titan fans, for you to see that I was right about Will Levis. Okay, yeah. So that's probably not how this week's gonna go, but it does tell me a lot that that's who you're going to.
Yep.
Tennessee Titans 96 in our YouTube chat said, "I hope Levis can show something. I don't believe Tannehill will take another snap in a Titans uniform." I'm not so sure that I disagree with you.
So I guess are they going to find a trade partner
on Tannehill? There's not one. I mean, the only one would theoretically have been Atlanta.
So you're just going to cut bait and move on?
Well, I mean, you can get out of the deal at the end of the year. So why would I keep doing this? You took Will Levis in the second round. You've obviously tapped out on Malik Willis, which, thank you for finally doing that. I do not know what took you so long, but I'm glad you finally have seen it my way.
Well, I mean, they didn't have much of a choice.
Well, because he's bad.
Well, but I mean, you drafted him that high. You had to give him all the chances, and he's had enough.
You probably gave him 3 chances more than he deserved, but okay.
Maybe.
I mean, I'm one of those that if you watch the first half of Malik Willis playing quarterback and you went, okay, what's the good that I've seen here? He put his jersey on the right way. His helmet is on his head, and his shoes are tied.
Well,
that's the highlight of Malik Willis's career.
Right.
But it's time for Tennessee. I feel like they're tapping out, and they're telling you that.
By what they're giving up.
The trade of Kevin Byard. Now you're putting in Will Levis against an Atlanta team that's fine. They're fine. They're not great. Secondary's not great. Jesse Bates is good. A.J. Terrell's fine. But Will Levis could do some things this week that make you go, hey, that guy could be the future. Now, so far, the only thing we've seen of him that was really impressive was his girlfriend.
Yeah. What happened to the whole we're going to play them both thing? And that kind of disappeared.
I think you will still see an element of Malik Willis.
Okay.
The only part of that doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me is, Will Levis can run too, right? I mean, he's not a straight line fast, but he's a lot bigger.
He's pretty mobile. I mean, he's pretty. You'd put him in that Sam Howell athletic
He's way
range.
bigger than Sam Howell.
But I'm saying athleticism-wise.
Yeah.
The way they move, their speed, the way they carry themselves, the way they're not afraid of getting hit. I always saw that and admired that, I guess, in Will's game.
Well, he's got a cannon arm that actually does scare you deep. Don't be shocked if you see more of Derrick Henry this week. I keep getting asked, are they going to trade him at the trade deadline? If anybody was buying, they would be selling.
Mm-hmm.
They've been trying to sell for 8 solid months, and nobody has been there to purchase.
But again, I think that's one of those things of everybody knows that you. I guess you can't get him for a 6 or a 7.
No, I would say you probably could.
You
it's
think
probably
so?
a 5.
They give him up for that?
Why not?
I don't know. I just
why would you not? And the thought is
because he's the guy, right? Because he's the Tennessee guy, and we've kind of built our franchise around him, and he's the best player we've ever had.
So that's the point, though, is that he's been the good soldier, Mr. Titan. You're literally throwing up every red flag humanly possible that this season is not going to go particularly well. And I feel like they're looking at the top of next year's draft going, there's a lot of high-end talent next year that we could benefit from. A receiver. Anyone that can catch a football. And there's 3 of them that should go in the top 10.
Mm-hmm.
And we're just going to tap. And there's nothing wrong with that. I get so angry every single year when we get to this point and we start talking about the Brian Flores Miami Dolphins and all these teams that have tanked over the years and how this is the worst thing you could possibly do. No, it's not, because you don't have another option. You can win a few meaningless games. You going to learn anything from Ryan Tannehill?
No.
You got 11 more shots to strap on a face mask and some cleats and see what you've got on this team. Is Ryan Tannehill going to teach you a thing?
No.
No. Is DeAndre Hopkins going to teach you a thing? No.
He might teach my quarterback something.
And that's
That's
where he becomes kind of
do
a
I
difficult.
keep Ryan Tannehill around just to, have the voice in the room, or do I have
I'm
DeAndre
fine with
Hopkins?
Tannehill being in the room because I don't feel like he's a threat to Will Levis if he's even a competent quarterback.
See, this is what
Plus, he's hurt.
Yeah, see, this is what I kind of thought about the Philadelphia Eagles getting Julio Jones into the room, right? Like, that wasn't necessarily, to me, a piece that was, this is going to show my team something, or he's going to come in and be a useful piece, which I think he can in spots. But more importantly, I want him there to maybe teach Devontae Smith a couple of things, or to have.
I don't think he's teaching Devontae Smith anything at this point.
You don't think so?
I
You
mean,
don't think he's got anything to impart upon him about how to play wide receiver?
I think Devontae Smith's doing just fine all by his lonesome.
I think so? Okay.
He and A.J. Brown. At this point,
I mean, he's been struggling with drops this year, and so that might be a thing. Like, we brought in Julio to help him out, to boost his confidence, maybe guide him along. I don't know.
You're bringing in Julio Jones to help a guy with drops.
I don't know.
That would be like bringing in Tommy Lee to help somebody with their drug abuse.
Is he a big drops guy?
Always has been.
Really?
Always has been.
Really? Some of the surest hands in the league, biggest stats in the league.
Always had drop problems.
Okay, all right. I don't know. I don't know. I feel like there are positives to having veterans on not good teams. You can have DeAndre Hopkins there to teach Treylon Burks some things, to help Will Levis along in his development as a quarterback, teaching him how to, lead a receiver. And I mean, not that he doesn't know these things, but not on an NFL level, right?
I don't necessarily think the Philadelphia analogy there is not doing anything for me. That team's just fine. Now, I am looking at a Tennessee team that's really young. Devontae Smith's been in this league for a while and been a really good player.
It's been like 3 years.
Nick Westbrook-Akina, not so much.
Mm-hmm.
Treylon Burks, he could benefit from DeAndre Hopkins, but I'm even looking at that. There's an article on the front page of Pro Football Focus today that the Carolina Panthers should make a deal for DeAndre Hopkins, which made blood come out of my ear when I read it. But I started thinking about DeAndre does he do more good bringing you back draft capital or as a receiver to help Will Levis along? And I really don't know the answer to that. He's going to get, no doubt, number one coverage if he's on the field.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know that trying to force the ball into him with Will Levis, I'm not sure that that's a positive. Will's got enough of an arm that you're going to take those safeties out of the box. So the running game is going to be what you lean on. And I do think that you will see competent quarterback play from Will Levis. And if you do, that's the quarterback for the rest of the way.
Mm-hmm.
I think it has to be.
Okay.
I mean, just look at Tennessee's schedule. What's your high side right now? You don't have a winnable game in the next month.
Mm-hmm.
You play the Panthers a month from today. In between that, you play the Falcons, at the Steelers, at the Bucks, at the Jaguars. You win in any of those? No, so you're going to be 2-8.
Mm-hmm.
Season's over.
Right.
Turn it over to the young guy. And what this got me thinking is, we've had a really bad history with second-round picks playing quarterback over the last 10, 15 years. And one of the commonalities that I saw between a lot of the ones that were not particularly good,
mm-hmm.
they were either thrown into the fire of a competitive team or they were left on the bench to die. And the more I look at Levis, I thought he was one of the most pro-ready coming into the draft in the first place.
Right.
The last year at Kentucky wasn't particularly good because he had lost linemen. He had 3 of them drafted. He had lost his best receiver in Wan'Dale Robinson. He lost his offensive coordinator.
Mm-hmm.
And everybody held that against him and made me sound like I was a moron because he fell to the second round. He didn't fall to the second round on talent. I can tell you that much definitively. There were a lot of attitude issues in interviews and things like that are what pushed him down.
Right.
We all knew he had the biggest arm in the draft. It wasn't even close. He's got some of the most NFL-ready intangibles of any of the quarterbacks that came out in this class.
Mm-hmm.
But the fact that he fell to the second round just means he's a bum. Well, Jalen Hurts went in the second round too.
Mm-hmm.
And it all kind of lends itself to what system can you put around him.
Right.
I don't think that has anything to do with DeAndre Hopkins. I don't think that has anything to do with Derrick Henry. These are guys that are both on the wrong side of the age marker. And so if you can recoup draft capital, build a team around Will, then you've got an 11-game tryout here to see if you actually have a quarterback or not.
Right. Okay. So just out with the old, in with the new. I guess I got no problems with that.
Call Arthur Smith and be like, hey, you're really bad at quarterback.
I was going to say, I wonder if you made that call, what would the response be?
In Atlanta?
Yeah.
I can't believe that they still really believe in Desmond Ridder.
I mean, if you pick up that phone and
you're winning games.
Hey, you've got a division to win. Don't you think you could do it with Ryan?
You've got a guy that already knows the playbook, that's already familiar with the system.
Right.
That is also, not super ironically, who you play this week.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what the response would be to that.
Yeah.
If it were me, he can't physically be any worse than Desmond Ridder's been. Old mister, I fumbled it without being touched. I did everything in my power to lose us a division game against the Buccaneers.
That is a difficult thing to do, is to just drop it when no one's around, no one's looking. I mean, you've had very few second-round quarterbacks that have ever really panned out.
I mean,
right?
And if you're going ever, you've had a much higher number.
Yeah, but I mean, like, in our lifetimes. I mean, because you can go back to the days of, like, I think Boomer was a second-round pick, and there were some of those 80s quarterbacks that were good second-round picks. But, like, in our lifetimes?
Off the top of my head, Jalen Hurts, Drew Brees. Those are the first two that come to my mind.
Mm-hmm. Derek Carr.
Jimmy Garoppolo.
Andy Dalton. Like, that's it. That's the good ones. Because all of the other ones never played.
And that's not a terrible list.
No,
it's
not,
really not a terrible list because every one of the guys that we just said was in the last 20 years.
Yes.
It's the flip of that in large part when you take these guys in the second round, and I have a theory as to why.
Mm-hmm.
When you take these guys in the second round, they are either good and they become starters in the league. You have Jalen, you have Drew, who became high-level starters in the league. Or they look like, what would you see here? Brock Osweiler, one of the first ones that came to my mind. What exactly did you see in this guy that made you think, he could play in the NFL. Christian Hackenberg.
And he did. I mean, he did for a little while.
Osweiler?
Yeah.
He filled in on a loaded Denver Broncos team, got paid, went to Houston, died. And my theory on that is there are so many eyes on quarterbacks now. I started thinking about this Monday after we were talking about, I haven't really missed on a quarterback aggressively, but one or two times in the last 6 or 7 years. It's because you got so many eyes on these guys. It's hard to miss aggressively on a quarterback at this point.
Yet so many do.
Do they, though?
I mean, I feel like they do.
In the last 5 years, do they, though?
I mean, every year we have somebody pumped up to be the next big thing, and
no,
you're either hit or miss.
We've had
right?
2 of those in the last 4 years. That's kind of swaying you. Bryce was never pumped up to be the next big thing. He was the best quarterback in the class. You need a quarterback, you go get the best one. The only 2 have been Caleb Williams and Trevor Lawrence. You have to go back to Andrew Luck before that and John Elway before that because Peyton wasn't even looked at that way. There were teams in the league that swore they would have taken Ryan Leaf at 1. It's just happened a bunch of times in a short period of time. But, I mean, if you look back, Kyler Murray, was that really a miss? He's been to 2 Pro Bowls. He was unequivocally the best quarterback in that class, and it's not even close.
I mean, it's not what you would want a first-round number 1 pick to be.
But I can't
so
pick
it's not
somebody
a miss.
that's not in this
I
class.
get it. But, what did they pass on? I always look at that. Like, did you pass on a generational player? Like a bit, like a Micah Parsons level player? Did you pass on that to get a quarterback who's not going to be the guy?
Doesn't matter. I needed a quarterback.
Yeah.
It physically does not matter. I needed a quarterback. But, I mean, just look over the last handful of years. When was the last time you saw guys go in an order that's not how it panned out? Kyler, Daniel Jones, Dwayne Haskins, Drew Lock. That's the order they should have gone in.
Okay.
Trevor Lawrence, Zach Wilson, Trey Lance, Justin Fields, Mac Jones. Aside from Trey Lance, that's the order that should have gone in. Trey should have been last. He was the rawest, but he had a higher upside. 22, Pickett, Ritter, Willis, Corral, Zapp, Howell. Howell went too low. That's it. Teams aren't missing on quarterbacks the way that it's being said that they are in the first round. Then you get to the second round and the third round and on from there. And that turns into a big old poop shoot. Because I could make the argument there hasn't been a good one in a lot of years outside of Jalen Hurts.
You're in the Sportsocracy, and this is ESPN Asheville. The Asheville Championship returns to Harrah's Cherokee Center in Asheville November 10th and 12th. This year's field is the best yet. The Clemson Tigers, Maryland Terrapins, Davidson Wildcats, and the Blazers of UAB. 4 exciting matchups with a champion to be crowned at one of the premier early season tournaments in college basketball. For more information and to get your tickets, go to AshevilleChampionship.com. That's AshevilleChampionship.com. It all starts in Asheville November 10th and 12th. Proudly sponsored by Ingalls Markets.
Real estate isn't about properties. It's about people. I'm Clarissa Hyatt-Zach with eXp Realty, your native realtor serving all of Western North Carolina. I will work hard for you, and I believe in doing the right thing every time. I market each of my listings to reach out-of-town buyers. I use a professional photographer and drone video on every single listing, as well as collaborate with agents across the country to find your buyer. Check me out online at clarissasellswnc.com or give me a call at 828-774-6343. It would be my pleasure to assist you through the real estate process.
As the leaves change, leave the hiring to Indeed. Their all-in-one hiring platform helps you attract, interview, and hire candidates all from one place. And Indeed's interview tool lets you schedule and conduct virtual interviews right from their website. Visit Indeed.com/credit.
Gillette Intimate gives guys a gentle and easy shave on there. And around there. And even under there. Don't treat your groin like junk. Respect it with Gillette Intimate, the best a man can get. Buy now at a retailer near you.
The annoying runny nose, the constant sneezing. the itchiness, and battle just to catch your breath. If you suffer from seasonal allergies, sinusitis, or nagging sinus congestion, there's a natural, easy-to-use solution that can help provide fast, drug-free relief. It's called Navage, and it uses powered suction to rinse your nasal passages in seconds. Millions of people use Navage daily to help provide relief from seasonal allergies and sinus congestion. Medications treat the symptoms, but Navage treats the problem at the source, flushing out the allergens and pollen trapped in your nose. Navage also helps wash out airborne bacteria, dust, dirt, and viruses quickly and painlessly so you can get back to breathing clearly again. Say goodbye to sinus suffering and hello to better breathing with Navage. Navage is available at Walmart, Walgreens, Target, CVS, Rite Aid, and online at Navage.com. Navage. Navage. Clean nose, healthy life.
Meet Bruce.
Hey there.
He's a busy soccer dad who's trying hard to learn the game.
Go for the end zone.
Whoops. Luckily, other things come easy, like banking with Chase. On a tip from his banker, he set up autosave in the Chase mobile app. So what are you saving for, Bruce?
Father-daughter soccer camp.
Smart bankers, convenient tools, one bank with the power of both. Visit chase.com/checking. Chase, make more of what's yours.
Autosave requires a Chase checking and savings account. Chase mobile app is available for select mobile devices. Message and data rates may apply. JP Morgan Chase Bank, N.A. member FDIC.
Hey, you got 10 minutes? Then you've got time for the new podcast, 10 Takes with Kyle Brandt. Every Monday, I give you 10 takes from the NFL, from the universe, and I give them to you in just 10 minutes. I'm telling you, you may just have the best time you've ever had listening to a podcast. It could be a crazy play I'm talking about. It could be how I hate child car seats and I don't know how to install them. You just never know. Listen to 10 Takes on the iHeartRadio app or wherever you get your podcasts.
The Sportsocracy.
Pull up your pants, take off the bra, and be a man.
It's ESPN Asheville. It's the Sportsocracy. You can follow us on all the social medias at the Sportsocracy. Jeremy just banging out all those shorts and stuff on Instagram and TikTok and bringing more eyeballs to the program. Just doing yeoman's work.
Oh, you gotta love Instagram. Instagram's become like my new drug of choice. It is shocking how many people get on Instagram and just go, how many things can I say in a short period of time that I would never say to someone's face?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That's where I don't really respect you. If you come at me and say, hey, I disagree with you, and here's why, I can get down with that. If you come at me with, you're fat, you're stupid, then all of a sudden I just go and block because there's not enough hours in my day.
It's weird. It's weird.
Then I click on your picture and it's some 5'4" dude with glasses wearing a tux that's 2 sizes too big. Like, bro, I could carry you around like a little kid.
Right. Gotta love social media or not. I'm not a fan.
I do love it.
I'm not a fan.
I do because it is shocking how many good football conversations I've gotten in, especially the Caleb Williams thing. We put out one about the Bills. Bills fans are awesome. You want to know one of the reasons that I can't just mercilessly bang on the Bills? I have never gotten one of those messages from a Bills fan. Ever.
Really?
Ever.
Never.
Not one time
You're
ever.
stupid.
Not one time ever. Eagles fans? That's a whole different story.
Huh. Well, yeah. No. I was gonna say you bag on one more than the other, but you've been pretty stiff on Josh Allen here lately.
Oh yeah, and you know what?
We're
Bills
gonna talk
fans
about
do?
him later.
Oh yeah, Bills fans see that and go, yeah, you know what? That dude's right.
Yep.
He's right.
He's got problems.
And then they follow it up with, "Are you going to be shocked if they win 5 games in a row?" No, I'm not.
Mm-mm.
No, I'm not in any way going to be shocked because that's what you do.
Yep. All right. So Will Levis is the latest second-round quarterback that's going to be starting in the NFL. This week, he's getting the start they're expecting, or they said, what was it? They said that they would both play, that he and Malik Willis
That was what was originally
play.
said. Then the report came out this morning that they're prepping Will Levis to be the starter, and they just kind of left Malik Willis's name out of it.
I'm curious if that had anything to do with the response yesterday, because I saw a lot of that. What is this? How are you? 2 quarterbacks, all that. I mean, I guess
that could be as simple as something was taken out of context.
Maybe it was. I don't know. I'm not saying this is anything structurally about they don't know what they're doing, none of that. I think it's funny that you would say we're playing them both, and then we all go, wait a minute, 2 quarterbacks don't equal 1, and then he's like, oh, yeah, Will Levis, he's the one. So Will Levis is going to start, and I guess the question is this the right time?
I think it's the perfect time. I went back over the last 10 years. So 10 years ago is when you got Jimmy Garoppolo, Derek Carr. That was in the 2014 draft. We're going into the 2024 draft.
Okay.
So I went back and just looked at the second and third round picks and realized, there's a common theme here. The bad ones either never got a shot, and we just consider them to be bad. Kyle Trask. He's had 2 opportunities to win this job in the offseason, and then bad Baker. Never even considered. Baker is the better option. I remember you in the offseason telling me, oh, no, they're going to go to Kyle Trask. No, they're not. No, they're not, because people are not rational when it comes to Baker Mayfield.
No, I mean, if he had been bad, they would have.
Well, he hasn't been good. He's been good against bad teams. I'm right. Don't stoke that fire. I am tired of Baker Mayfield apologists.
No, I'm not saying he's good. I'm just saying he's put up enough stats to get the nod. Right? He can't be top 10 in QBR and then get benched for Kyle Trask. That's never going to happen. So, I mean, I still feel like it's coming.
I don't in any way. Then you have Jalen Hurts, who they built a system around. And I feel like they did with Jalen Hurts. I railed on it at the time, and I'll happily admit I was wrong. If you're going to do it, that's how you have to do it. You take the entire team, and just look at how Philadelphia drafted around him. You add that gigantic offensive line. You trade for A.J. Brown. You trade for DeAndre Swift. That's how you build a team. Jalen Hurts was not good the first shot he got started, but they made the playoffs. Yeah, and what happened? He looked atrocious in a playoff game against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. So what'd they do? They went out and fixed all of the problems around him. Kyle Trask been given no shot. Drew Lock, they bailed water on that instantaneously. Deshaun Kaiser, Christian Hackenberg. What do they all have in common?
None of them are good.
You weren't good.
Yeah.
And we knew it quickly. The guys that I said outside of Kaiser, they didn't have to touch the field. I'm close to the Jets. They knew Christian Hackenberg was a disaster in the first camp because he against air couldn't do the things that they had seen him do as a freshman at Penn State.
Right.
So what I'm saying is that I'm looking at Tennessee here going, you got this 11-game stretch where you have no expectation. I would say even the rosiest blue-colored glasses fan does not expect anything out of the Tennessee Titans. And so now you can be patient with Will. You can put Will in a position to succeed. Maybe that's why they said you could expect them both to play. Maybe Malik Willis comes in and runs some kind of running formation. I don't know. Maybe he does what all the New England Patriots fans thought Malik Cunningham was going to do. I don't know. T's and P's to the Malik Cunningham era. You will be missed. We'd play you the highlights, but well, there weren't any.
There were none. Okay. But you said earlier that teams aren't missing on quarterbacks.
Teams aren't missing on quarterbacks.
Okay, so
they need a quarterback, and they're taking the one in line.
Okay, so but and I guess what I'm trying to figure out is, all right, if there's a correlation here between the second-round quarterbacks are just always bad. I mean,
second-round quarterbacks are always bad because there would be one of these teams that tried to get the fifth-year option. Even Jalen Hurts, he was not a fixed product coming out of college.
But
everybody makes it sound like Lincoln Riley fixed him. Lincoln Riley got him drafted, and that was really the end of that. And Jalen has said that. He got me drafted. Shane Steichen and Brian Johnson are the reason I am where I am right now.
Right.
Outside of that, the rest of them have just been broken toys, and they knew it immediately.
Okay.
But in terms of missing on quarterbacks, they haven't been taken in the wrong order since the Baker Mayfield draft.
I see what you're saying. All right. So even if you take them in the right order, it doesn't necessarily mean you missed. You took a quarterback because you needed to.
Well, I mean, if
you still take a guy and he doesn't work.
Name me the last team that needed a quarterback and bypassed it. Because I know the answer to that.
I do not.
New York Giants. When they took Saquon Barkley,
there you go.
they had no quarterback. They bypassed Sam Darnold, Josh Allen, Josh Rosen, and Lamar Jackson. Was that a good decision?
No.
Do you know how often that is brought up to me in conversations, specifically now that we're talking about Caleb Williams and Drake May coming into this draft, of, buddy, they're going 1-2 whether they should or not.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter.
You can't afford to.
Because what happens if you bypass them and then you're the Giants that have to shoehorn Daniel Jones because a year later you need a quarterback? There aren't any. You couldn't get to one because Arizona was in love with Kyler Murray. Cliff Kingsbury was obsessed with putting Kyler Murray in this offense. So now you're stuck with Daniel Jones and Dwayne Haskins and Drew Lock. So no, a team's not going to bypass them. And I don't really hammer you for doing that. Everybody's told me, well, Zach Wilson's a bust with the Jets. Is he? I mean, is he a number 2 pick in the draft? No. Your starting quarterback went down, and you're still alive in the playoff hunt, and he's got a great deal to do with it.
But he's still a bust. I mean, because
do I think Mac Jones would have done that, or Justin Fields, or Trey Lance? No, I don't.
No.
Those three are turnover machines. Zach he got into a competent system, and now he's doing what I would expect him to do.
Yes.
He's not putting up the stats, but you're winning games. That's all I really care about.
I mean, yes, I would say he is categorically a bust because you wouldn't have the other quarterback if he weren't a bust.
And you're not wrong.
Yeah, and look, I know it's tough, right? It's tough to nail down these prospects. I'm not coming down on teams too hard for this. Because, when you're in a position to draft a quarterback, of course you're going to draft a quarterback.
I'm coming down on the teams that draft him in the second round because almost invariably, or second or third round, really, because almost invariably you put yourself in a bad situation. The Washington Commanders are in a bad situation right now.
Right.
Now, that's not Sam Howell's fault. I still think he's a good prospect. I thought he was a good prospect at the time. You're just getting him killed, and now the fan base is turning on him. But the Atlanta fan base has already turned on Desmond Ridder.
Right. But like in that specific instance, what else should they have done? Who else should they have had? What other opportunity did they have to get the quarterback? Right, because years ago it was the RG3 thing, and that blew up in your face. But you had Kirk Cousins
in terms of what could Washington have done.
Yeah, because I don't know what their draft status was.
Washington's probably not the best example here because Sam was a 5th-round pick that they just fell in love with when they got him in camp. What could you have done? You could have signed a veteran. You tried to do that, and Carson Wentz was bad.
Right.
I'm more looking at Atlanta. Atlanta, you went out and signed Taylor Heineke, but you have a 3rd-round pick invested in Desmond Ridder, and you're not willing to admit that this was incorrect. If he wasn't a quarterback, he wouldn't be on that roster. Fact or fiction, if he played a linebacker and he was as bad as you've seen him be, would he even be on this team?
No, not
there
a
you
chance.
go. So you shoehorn yourself into this situation, and that's what I'm trying to say about Tennessee with Levis, is you give him this opportunity. If he comes out, falls on his face in the next 3 weeks, and he's absolutely awful, looks like Malik Willis did, okay, well, we're right back to the drawing board. We still need a quarterback. The thing that drives me crazy is when you just park them on the bench and go, this is Kyle Trask. He's a lovely statue that sits right behind Todd Bowles every single week. and basically you set that 2nd-round pick on fire just as much as Atlanta did that Desmond Ridder pick. I'm just not seeing it every week.
Yep.
He's sitting here holding the clipboard. You drafted a backup quarterback in the 2nd round.
That's what great organizations do, right?
100%. Legendary franchise with 2 Super Bowls and 30 horrific years up.
I much rather would have drafted, Florida State kicker in the 2nd round. Let's do that.
Well, just not the one you drafted.
We just set those on fire because that's what we do.
This is day number 567 of me saying, don't ever draft kickers.
Don't ever draft
Jake
kickers.
Moody, example number 512.
You're in the Sportsocracy, and this is ESPN Asheville.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
Looking good and feeling great. Nothing changing from what I was thinking earlier. It may not rain here for the next week or longer. Lots of sunshine today, 75. Tonight we'll dip back to about 50, mainly clear 40s out in the suburbs. Thursday, sunny, 75. Friday, mostly sunny in the upper 70s, and lather, rinse, repeat with the sunshine into the weekend. Saturday and Sunday, sunny and even warmer up near 80. From the Weather Channel, I'm Ray Staging.
This report is sponsored by Indeed.com.
If you like using debit over credit, shouldn't you also get rewarded? Well, now you can with Discover Cashback Debit. It's a checking account that rewards everyone with cash back on everyday purchases with no fees, period. Check out eligibility and terms at discover.com/cashbackdebit. Discover Bank, member FDIC.
I thought I was going to have to go through a hip replacement or some painful, unsuccessful surgery or be crippled the rest of my life.
Electrical engineer Dan Vogler had awful arthritic pain in his hips. Pain that not only affected him physically, but also emotionally. And it spilled over even to his relationships.
I was almost mean. If you're in pain and other people don't sympathize with it, you're lashing out at the wrong people.
But then Dan found QC Kinetics. With the latest advances in regenerative medicine, non-surgical treatments with lasting relief.
I felt immediate relief. I mean, within half a day, much of the inflammation and pain was down.
And today, Dan says he's totally pain-free, living the life he wants.
At the end of the 4th treatment, I felt pretty much healed and enthused and was raving about QC Kinetics. I can recommend them highly to anyone.
Call QC Kinetics now for your free consultation.
Call QC Kinetics, 828-333-9517. That's 828-333-9517. 828-333-9517.
eBay Motors is here for the ride with the parts you need for the prices you want. And with eBay Guaranteed Fit, it's guaranteed to fit your ride the first time, every time, or your money back. Keep your ride or die alive at ebaymotors.com. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
If cleanliness is next to godliness, look around the car right now. Is that very godly? Look, life comes at you fast, but so does WNC Auto Detailing. They have the tools to make your interior look like it's coming off the showroom floor. You don't believe me? Check them out on Instagram. All that filth and years of stains disappear. WNC Auto Detailing does full interior and exterior details with paint correction, and they do wax and ceramic coatings. Call WNC Auto Detailing at 455-3700. Premium care with a Southern hospitality touch.
Running a small business is no small task. At Home Trust Bank, we work hard to prepare businesses for whatever tomorrow may bring. Your dreams are our business, and we have local experts who can help you plan for a successful future. Dependable guidance you need, and service you'll appreciate. At Home Trust Bank, we take your small business banking personally. Visit your local Home Trust branch or anytime at htb.com. Member FDIC.
The best season of the year is here.
Tailgate season.
Monster Brewing presents this season's MVP.
The Beast Unleashed.
With 4 bold, familiar flavors.
With 0 caffeine and 0 sugar.
Beast Unleashed is your new pregame ritual.
With white haze, mean green, peach perfect, and scary berries, there's a flavor for every fan.
The Beast
Unleashed.
6% alcohol by volume. Unleashed responsibly. Must be 21 or over. Beast Unleashed. Available at your local retailer.
Boy, you must be outside your mind.
The Sportsocracy.
Just a bit outside. He tried the corner and missed.
All right, just a bit outside. Today we're going to get, I'm going to get just a bit inside.
Oh, please tell me you're telling a baseball story.
No.
Oh, come on. We got exactly what we wanted.
No,
it's the Creed Bangers against the Snakes that nobody cares about.
Oh, poor baseball.
Yeah, you want to see a World Series number that is, it almost looks like a misprint? It's coming.
Mm-hmm.
It's coming, and it's coming soon.
Mm-hmm. Texas Rangers and the Arizona Diamondbacks in the World Series. That's going to get tens and tens of views.
Oh, yeah. You know the advertisers went, is it too late to void that check? Capital One. I don't know that we could pay Samuel L. Jackson anymore.
Poor baseball.
Can we get a lesser-known Jackson? Samuel L. is probably a little too expensive for the crowd we're going to get here.
That didn't go the way that baseball wanted it to, and UFC 295 is not going the way that Dana White wanted it to.
294 didn't either.
Well, I mean, 294 was there was a lot of weirdness that went on in that in that fight that series of fights.
You had a doctor that kind of took over the show.
Well,
and you had a really bad main event.
To be fair, he did ask the guy, "Where are you right now?" And the only thing he could say was somewhere in the desert. So I'm going to say that was cause to stop the fight.
Hey, he wasn't wrong.
He wasn't wrong.
At least,
but when you can't go, I'm in Abu Dhabi or I'm in, I don't remember. I don't expect you after you just got your bell rung to go, I'm in the United Arab Emirates. No, but something better than I'm in the desert.
A guy that I trained with once got knocked out in the sparring session. He caught an inadvertent elbow and it sent him to Jupiter. And he got asked, where are you right now? And his response was very meekly, Earth. I am on Earth.
Did I do it?
I don't know anything beyond that, but I am on the planet Earth, and I know that.
So, I mean, I got why that happened. And then, of course, you had Islam Makhachev kicking Alexander Volkanovski in the face and ending that one in the first round. So it didn't go the way they wanted it to. You didn't get the 5-round knockout of a fight that you had the first time between those two. But at least if you were Dana, you were going, okay, this one wasn't bad, but the money shot is coming. We've got the biggest fight in UFC heavyweight history coming at 295. But
not so fast, my friend.
Yeah, Madison Square Garden was all set to have John Bones Jones against Stipe Miocic, and now you've got neither of them. Because John Bones Jones, he suffered an injury, and so he had to withdraw.
Torn pectoral, off the bone.
That's not good, which means they're not going to be able to fight this fight. They'll be lucky to fight this fight in 2025, I would imagine.
No.
Maybe late 2024?
8 months.
Okay. All right. So maybe by late summer next year.
You could probably do this in terms of the rehab and giving him enough time. You could probably do this in September of next year.
Okay.
Maybe August if he really pushed it, and he has very little incentive to do that.
It will be on the books, right? I mean, this fight is going to happen. Because Stipe pulled out of the event. He wasn't going to do the thing that the last two guys did. Because 294 was a replacement bout anyway.
Yeah, you're not giving me anybody but John. That's the only one I'm doing.
He had already retired, and he went, I'm not fighting anybody but John Jones. And so we're going to get that fight at some point, and we all thought that it was going to happen next month, but it's not. Still going to be a pretty good card. I wish they had another hammer co-main event to throw onto the card, but it's hard to replace a Jones-Miocic fight. But Prochazka against Pereira, that's going to be a hell of a fight.
You're going to have to give me one elite card where people don't walk away from it and go, I spent 4 hours of my life watching that. Because that's how I've walked away from the last 4 that I watched. Another thing that's been wildly disappointing, and you had to know I was going to find a way to get something about this in today, the Clemson Tigers.
Uh-huh.
Well, Dabo, you say things sometimes that just irk me. Do you happen to know who Clemson plays this week?
No, because they just played Miami.
It's a barn burner between them and the North Carolina State Wolfpack.
Woo!
Puppy fingers.
Let's go.
That game's been relegated to the CW because it's the 5th best game on the slate. Florida State Wake Forest takes the noon window on ABC. Duke Louisville gets the ESPN slot mid-afternoon, which it should. Virginia Miami is on ACC Network because Miami's still relevant. Carolina at Georgia Tech catches the late window in the ACC Network. So Clemson's been relegated to the CW. And when asked about that, this was Dabo Swinney's response. I have no idea what that is. I don't know where it's at. Where do I go to it? And that made me laugh aggressively.
Yes.
Because Carolina played on the CW this past week against Virginia, and my father called me and said, what is a CW and where do I find it?
Yep. I got a text message from my brother-in-law that said, apparently we don't get whatever this CW thing is. And I went, wait a minute. Don't they show wrestling on the CW?
No.
Didn't they?
No, the CW is basically where Dawson's Creek and One Tree Hill reruns have gone to die. And
They're still running those shows?
And you know what's sad? If you told me I had to watch 3 hours of Clemson at NC State or 3 hours of Dawson's Creek, I think I'm choosing the latter. That show was a banger, okay? You may not want to admit that you liked that show. You did. If you're about my age, you watched it. You know why? Because Katie Holmes was hot. And then she went crazy and dated Tom Cruise. You tell me where the lies were said. Come at me, bro. I don't care. I don't care.
No.
I'm secure in myself.
Yeah.
I know who I am. I'm married to grown-up Kelly Kapowski. I have a lot of room to wiggle here.
Patrick Holt, State fan, he's all excited about the Textile Bowl this year, which, yes, that is a rivalry that has a name that nobody knows unless you played Madden or the college football game.
You know what most people do when they hear that? The hell's a textile? Where do I go to buy a textile? Is that what you put in around the shower in your bathroom?
It's like underwears.
It's a textile.
It's underwears.
I'm not gonna lie to you. I don't know what a textile is, and I don't care. I've made it to 36 years and never going, hey, honey, I gotta run to the store and get some textiles.
It's textiles. It's cloth. Right?
I've survived.
I believe I'm right on that. It's like mills and they're making cloth and things.
Patrick Holt has lived a very interesting life. He said he was in Dawson's Creek's first season.
Was he really?
He and his girlfriend were extras in season 1. He was a football player. She was a cheerleader. And we walk right by James Vanderbeek and Katie Holmes in the hallway.
Nice.
And you know what? I will go back and watch all of season 1 as opposed to watching that Clemson NC State game.
You don't need to do that. Patrick Holt, he can tell you what episode it was.
Oh, no doubt.
He's got it on his DVR.
He's
never erased that from the TiVo.
I need to get in a movie. It seems like everybody I know has been in a movie, and I have not.
Well,
I mean,
all the coolest kids are.
I mean, at least not one that could be shown in theaters.
We didn't need to know that at all.
Yeah. Was that breaking news? Do you need to hit your button? Anybody surprised by that?
Oh,
Oh, I just love that I could make Tank go, that's not good.
I just ate not too long ago, and now I don't want to ever eat again.
Look, 40% of the things that come out of your mouth repulse me. So, all right, I got
Deal
one.
with it.
I got one. Deal with it.
Yeah. All right, let's play a fun little game of either, neither, both, Jeremy. I'll start. Either, neither, both. Who's making the college football championship game? Is it the Michigan Wolverines or the Florida State Seminoles? Or both of them?
I will say both. I will say that's probably going to – I'm just looking at the way this is going to break down. I fully believe Michigan is going to boat race Ohio State. You can't be that bad at quarterback and then come up against a defense like that. Mm-hmm. I'm not saying that Ohio State's the 20th best team in the country. You're probably somewhere in the neighborhood of 6 or 7. But I watched you against Penn State, and the only thing you could do was force feed Marvin Harrison Jr. Michigan can stop that. Mm-hmm. They have players that can stop that. And then I don't know what your second gear is. So if I had to make a wager, I would say by the time we get to the playoff, you're going to get Michigan in at 1, Georgia in at 2, Florida State in at 3, and I want to say Washington at 4, but that schedule is a gauntlet. I'm going to stick with Washington, but that's the one that I don't feel great about. Florida State has an 85% or better chance to win every game they have for the rest of the year, and the schedule's good enough to allow them to take the spot of Ohio State or Michigan when one of them lose to each other. So that is, if I had to make the guess right now, I would say the college football championship game is Michigan, Florida State.
Okay. That is fair.
Florida State's so veteran and they find a way to win games. I think if they played Georgia, they would beat them.
Yeah.
And whoever is 4 is, you're going to meet a defense that is, they're not nice and they're going to hurt your feelings. Mm-hmm. I love Washington. I love Michael Penix. And I frankly would like them against Georgia or Florida State. I do not like them against Michigan.
All right. So going both. Michigan, Florida State, national championship game. You heard it right here first.
We did not ask each other these questions before the show.
No.
And I do find an irony that you asked me that question first.
Okay.
Because my first question is either, neither, both. Which undefeated top 6 team do you believe in less, Oklahoma or Ohio State? Ohio State has better wins. They have a better resume.
In less.
I'm not talking about what they've put on the field. I'm talking about which one of you can go 13-0 and
it's Ohio State.
I don't agree with you.
Really?
You think there is any shot they beat Michigan? Because I don't.
You said, who do I believe in less?
No.
So Ohio State's my answer.
Okay, so that was what I asked the first time. Then I kind of put a caveat on the backside.
Okay.
Which one of those do you think can go 13-0 and make the playoff?
It'd be Oklahoma.
There you go.
No doubt. And it's not close to me because I don't – I mean, I get that you've beaten Notre Dame and now you've beaten Penn State. Congratulations, Ohio State. But you got to have – you're going to have another gear because I don't think, as Jeremy said, because I don't think you're going to get into one of these 2017 scrappy little games with Michigan. I honestly don't believe that your defense is that good. I think Michigan will be able to put up points on you much easier than Penn State or even Notre Dame did. And
I don't agree with you on the defense is not good. I think the defense is markedly improved.
I don't think they're that good, is what I said. I don't think they're that good to keep Michigan in check. You think they are?
I do. I don't think you can score on them. But you just don't have a second gear. If you did, I would have seen it against Penn State as opposed to how many times can we throw it to Marvin Harrison and him not die?
Mm-hmm.
And now, look, it worked. They couldn't stop it. Kalen King couldn't stop it. I mean, you took my number one corner in the class and made me reevaluate a lot of things because he was a nightmare. So I don't fault you for doing what works. I just still come back to I don't believe in your quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
And Oklahoma, if they get past Kansas this week, they will sail to the Big 12 title game. And that's coming off a week where you should have lost to a team that had never won a game in the Big 12. UCF is absolutely abysmal, and you should have lost. But they've really got one losable game left.
Okay.
I feel like Oklahoma's going to be the fly in the ointment. They're going to accidentally get in. That's who gets Michigan, and they get beat 63-2.
All right.
It would be a fitting way to send off the 4-team playoff because that's how this goes every year. The 2-3 matchup's really good, and one squishes 4.
All right, either, neither, both, Jeremy. The World Series is now set.
Oh, joy. Oh, this should be good. This is going to be like when Adam Gold asked me questions about hockey.
I don't remember that.
Yeah.
How did I miss that?
The guy whose last name ends in ski. That's what I'm going with that feller.
I feel like that was a racism.
No. They have like 7 guys whose last name ends in ski. He one time asked me a question. It was like 3 of them, and I went, I don't know a name that you just said.
I don't know which one of those. Ovechkin. That's all I got. That's all I got. All right. Have to. This is.
Oh, God, I knew.
This is absolute have
where
to.
they were going.
Either, neither, both. Are you watching World Series action between the Texas Rangers and the Arizona Diamondbacks, or that secret video that I got in my closet?
Oh, God.
I just want to know what your line is, basically.
You didn't give me bleach to the eyeballs, so that because that's what I would choose that easily.
No, this is full on A Clockwork Orange. We got you in the little contraption that holds your eyelids open. You have to watch one to fruition.
It's World Series. There's
yes. I just wanted to hear you say you'd watch baseball in some scenario.
Let me. How do I explain? I would go be Joe Biden's personal assistant before I watched a video that you said was home movies of you, just on the off chance that there was some intermittent nudity.
There would be none.
Because I don't care. I don't even care that you just told me that. I'm not taking the risk. Now, better question. Which one would you watch to fruition? Rangers Diamondbacks World Series Game 1 or Frozen Frenzy Part 2?
Oh,
that was last night on ESPN.
Game 1, no doubt.
I watched way more of that than I would have ever thought I would.
I saw it on my television and got angry. And
I didn't.
Stop it.
I actually
Stop trying to make me care about this.
I enjoy watching hockey. I just don't know who any of them are.
Yeah.
It's like playing the old college football game where I'm like, well, I mean, I can tell who's good, but I don't know who any of these people are.
It's too much. It's just too much. I've tried several times, and I just can't keep track of. I can't see the puck. Like, they're just out there swishing at air most of the time because I can't see where the damn thing's going. Like, I remember there was a Fox broadcast back in the day when they got NHL games, and they had like the little tracer
the blue
on
streak.
the puck.
The blue streak was awesome.
Let's do the blue streak all the time, because otherwise I'm just out here watching guys sling sticks at each other, and if I wanted to see that, I'd just watch one of Jeremy's home movies. You're in the Sportsocracy, and this is ESPN Asheville. We got to go to break.
What? Did you just make that joke?
I did. Jeremy's Bangers of the Night are next. The Asheville Championship returns to Harrah's Cherokee Center in Asheville November 10th and 12th. This year's field is the best yet. The Clemson Tigers, Maryland Terrapins, Davidson Wildcats, and the Blazers of UAB. 4 exciting matchups with a champion to be crowned in one of the premier early season tournaments in college basketball. For more information and to get your tickets, go to AshevilleChampionship.com. That's AshevilleChampionship.com. It all starts in Asheville November 10th and 12th. Proudly sponsored by Ingalls Markets.
Real estate isn't about properties, it's about people. I'm Clarissa Hyatt Zach with eXp Realty, your native realtor serving all of Western North Carolina. I will work hard for you, and I believe in doing the right thing every time. I market each of my listings to reach out-of-town buyers. I use a professional photographer and drone video on every single listing, as well as collaborate with agents across the country to find your buyer. Check me out online at clarissasellswnc.com or give me a call at 828-774-6343. It would be my pleasure to assist you through the real estate process.
AutoStar family dealerships need your car today, and you can get cash today for a clean late model vehicle. Listen, AutoStar is always paying more than the big box retailers, and they're paying it now. Deal with a real, local, trustworthy live person and get paid top dollar for your vehicle the day you arrive. Ain't no waiting weeks to get your check from AutoStar. Sell your car online right now at AutoStarUSA.com.
Buy your next car from an AutoStar.
Vehicle must have a title at hand. Same 85 is 24 hours from valid seller's agreement. Checks will be issued for vehicles and equity only.
Summit Dental is accepting new patients. At Summit, they submit insurance on your behalf and provide you with estimates, so you have everything you need to make an informed treatment decision. They also work with Care Credit, and they're happy to help you apply. Care Credit helps you pay for out-of-pocket healthcare expenses. See why Summit Dental has so many 5-star reviews on Google. Book today at AshevilleSummitDental.com. In-house savings programs are also available. Book online at AshevilleSummitDental.com.
If you or a loved one have been a victim of crime, the North Carolina Department of Public Safety Office of Victim Compensation Services provides programs to help you find peace of mind. We are here to help you apply for benefits that you may qualify for to recover from hardships such as lost wages and medical expenses. To learn more, visit ncdps.gov/4victims. That's ncdps.gov/4VICTIMS.
Heart failure, carpal tunnel syndrome, shortness of breath, stomach issues, lower back pain. How does it all add up? If you have heart failure and any of those seemingly unrelated symptoms sound familiar, it's time to talk with your cardiologist and get the full picture. They may add up to transthyretin amyloid cardiomyopathy. ATTR-CM is a rare and underdiagnosed disease. Recognize the signs and discuss them with your doctor soon. Learn more at connectwithyourheart.com. That's connectwithyourheart.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Coffee still closes on.
Get them the money.
Then when you get the money, you get the power. That watch costs more than your car. Then when you get the power, then you get the woman.
It's Sakusa Wednesday. Last night we got the 4 best teams in the conference. Well, the convex of that is tonight we get 4 of the 5 worst teams in the conference. By the way, missed a parlay last night by only the under in that Liberty game. I didn't really anticipate them scoring 40-plus points, but they don't ever throw. This is Green on Green, brought to you by Ingalls Markets. Low prices, love the savings. The lone good team that plays tonight, Jacksonville State, the Fighting Gamecocks and Rich Rodriguez travel to FIU. Jacksonville State's an 8.5-point favorite. Look, Jacksonville State's a pretty good team. They're really good defensively. And the best thing that's happened to FIU all year is those sweet Miami Vice jerseys. This is going to be a bloodletting. Give me Jacksonville State minus the 8.5. Next, UTEP travels to winless Sam Houston. the only team in FBS football that does not have a victory, and that changes tonight. The Bearcats, with a K, are getting their first win of the season. Their first win as an FBS program. Give me Sam Houston in the money line. They win outright. For more, find us on all the social medias at The Sportsocracy. And as always, love the savings with Ingles, love the winnings with me. Mull it out.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
Looking good and feeling great. Nothing changing from what I was thinking earlier. It may not rain here for the next week or longer. Lots of sunshine today, 75. Tonight we'll dip back to about 50, mainly clear 40s out in the suburbs. Thursday, sunny, 75. Friday, mostly sunny in the upper 70s, and lather, rinse, repeat with the sunshine into the weekend. Saturday and Sunday, sunny and even warmer up near 80. From the Weather Channel, I'm Ray Stajic.
Don't miss Zero Res Carpet and Air Duct Cleaning's thrilling fall sale. Call now and mention ESPN Asheville to get 3 rooms cleaned for $129 or schedule online at ZeroResAsheville.com. You can't miss the Zero Res Carpet and Air Duct Cleaning fall sale.
You know when you wake up and your mouth feels gross and you just can't wait to brush your teeth to get that clean, fresh feeling again? That's exactly how millions of Navage users feel when they use powered suction to rinse out their noses every day, just like brushing their teeth. Once you're able to breathe deeply without congestion, you never want to be without it. That's why so many people rave about Navage, with over 100,000 online reviews. Feel the Navage difference for yourself. In less than a minute a day, you'll feel immediate relief from seasonal allergies and congestion after the very first use. Navage will also help you sleep deeper, snore less, and feel healthier, naturally, without drugs. Start breathing clearly again with Navage. Navage is available at Walmart, Walgreens, Target, CVS, Rite Aid, and online at Navage.com. Navage. Navage. Clean nose, healthy life.
Some intimate parts need the gentle, easy trim of a Gillette trimmer. And some need the closeness and comfort of a Gillette Intimate Razor. While others need a Gillette Anti-Chafe Stick. Gillette Intimate, the best a man can get, down there. Buy now.
From the Ingalls Studios, this is ESPN Asheville, WPEK, W225CJ Fairview, WMXF Waynesville, and iHeart radio station.
Now, your chance to win $1,000. Just enter this nationwide keyword on our website. Win. That's win. Enter it now.
Log on now to ESPNAVL.com. And good luck from your friends at ESPN Asheville.
The Sportsocracy.
That fires me up, man. I love it. Say it one more time.
The Sportsocracy.
Shake it back!
Beer City's best sports talk.
It is gross.
Just earlier.
They are mature, actually. You just have to get to know them better.
Your lunchtime dose of dumbassery. Live from the Ingalls studio.
It is the Sportsocracy, and we are live at the Ingalls studio on ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, 1400. Heard everywhere on the iHeart Radio app. Take us with you everywhere you go. You can also see us live in the Ingalls studio on YouTube. Go to thesportsocracy.com. Click the live video link. Subscribe to the channel. That way you can join us in the chat 1 o'clock on a Wednesday afternoon. And it's time for our college football power rankings this week. The Ohio State-Penn State game was, it was the highlight game going into the weekend. Did it give you everything you wanted?
No, because Penn State can't score. Drew Ayler was not particularly good.
Mm-hmm.
Look, he's got talent, but it seems like a James Franklin team just lets you down anytime you trust them. So this week, there's not going to be a ton of change in the top 5 because, as we do every week, this is the top 13 teams in college football if they were to play each other.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, the resume goes into it, but you got to pass the eyeball test too.
Right.
So this week, I'm going to give you the rest of the schedule for each one of these teams and the most losable game they have left on the schedule.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
I bet you can assume who my number 1 is.
It's got to be the Michigan Wolverines.
Until you do something that makes me think you're not the best team in the country, I'm just going to keep going that you are. Do you know what the combined score of their 8 games this year is?
734-13.
You're closer than you would like to be. 325-47. They've allowed 47 points in 8 games. Am I telling you they've beaten anybody? No, I'm not. But all you can do is play the teams on the schedule. They have to go to Happy Valley in 2 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
I will go out on a limb. They're off this week. I'll go out on a limb and say they're going to beat Penn State to death. Because, yes, that defense is good. That offense is not. And I'm not sure Penn State breaks 10 points on them, which nobody all year has done so far.
Mm-hmm.
The irony is that the one team that did it was Minnesota, who also can't score. They're Iowa-level bad scoring points, and they scored 10 points on you.
Yep.
Late.
Yep.
It's the best team in the country.
Mm-hmm.
Now, your most losable game, I guess I have to say Ohio State. Put a percentage on the chance that they go into the Big House and beat Michigan.
Oh, I will say it's a 14% chance.
I'm lower than you are.
Really?
5.
Okay.
If it was in the horseshoe,
you'd give them a larger. Yeah, you give them a larger chance.
We can talk. Now we're into 2025.
Yeah, it's not great.
That stadium is going to be insane.
No doubt.
For that game.
No doubt. Trying to go 3-0 against Ohio State in the last 3 years? Yeah, absolutely. That's going to be just killer. And Ohio State has found a way in the 2 big matchups that they've already had this season to get wins. And so, yeah, both teams are going to be flying high going into that one. I don't give them much of a chance to beat them, though, because here's the thing. Okay, Michigan, yes, I've seen this in the chat like 4 times already today. Michigan does not have a top 50 win this season. But it's the way that they're beating these teams that show you that they are that caliber of a team.
Mm-hmm. They're not just beating teams. They're beating them to death.
Mm-hmm.
Because they know we can't have a game that stays close. There's been 1 quarter in 32 that has even been close. And then you look at, well, all right, so you beat Penn State, you beat Ohio State. That's 2 top 15 wins that you'll have at the end of the year.
Yes.
Then you go into the Big Ten title game, you're going to play I'm going to give the 4 options because I don't believe that all 4 of these teams couldn't beat each other. You're either going to play Wisconsin, Iowa, Minnesota, or Nebraska.
Mm-hmm.
Woof. We already beat Nebraska 45-7. You beat Minnesota 52-10. You somehow don't play Iowa, which I'm not sure I understand.
Or Wisconsin.
And neither one of them can score.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, you're going to cruise to 13-0 outside of that Ohio State game.
Yes.
That is the only game on their schedule they can lose. Now, are they going to be one when the playoff poll comes out? I have absolutely no idea. Based on how the committee usually works, I could easily see Ohio State and Oklahoma being 1-2 with the assumption that's going to work itself out.
Mm-hmm.
Oklahoma has the best win. So they usually really lean on that.
Mm-hmm.
Now, they've beaten nobody outside of that. So when Michigan beats Penn State, they'll jump over Oklahoma. They'll jump over Ohio State. Because now I've got an equal win to you. And then you get the eye test of we're just better than you are. That is how I think that will go.
Okay. Michigan, number 1. Number 2?
This is where it gets difficult for me. Because if I say Florida State, I'm a homer.
Mm-hmm.
But that's really what I want to say.
Mm-hmm. Well, then say it. Put your money where your mouth is, Mr. 2023 NCAA champions.
All right, convince me. Florida State Seminoles.
Let's do it. Because I mean, it hasn't been perfect, obviously. Nobody has a perfect season.
But I saw there was an article on ESPN.com of, well, it was close for a bit.
Mm-hmm.
And it was talking about close wins and things like that. And it talked about all the teams in the top 25 that had wins that stayed close for a period of time.
Yep.
Do you realize how much it took for that game to stay close as long as it did? Jordan Travis threw an interception on his own 10-yard line.
Mm-hmm.
I keep hearing, well, Riley Leonard, Riley Leonard had 6 completions. He had 5 more than Henry Balin did.
Mm-hmm.
So don't act like he's going up and down the field, because that's not how that went.
But if he'd have been healthy, it'd have been different.
No,
I've heard that so many times.
No, it wouldn't have. No, straight up, no, it wouldn't have. Because he did not look hampered at all until he got re-injured.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's the second best team in college football, and I'll tell you why. Because they just find ways to win, even when they don't play well. That's the mark of a good senior-laden, grad transfer-laden squad, is that even when you don't play your best, you find a way to win.
Yep.
You outscored Clemson 24-7 down the stretch in their stadium. And Clemson's regressing every single week. That's still not a bad team. I love taking shots at Dabo Swinney, but they're still talented.
It's still considered a good win because you were in their house.
And you still got a shot at Miami, who's probably going to be 6-2.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to have a very impressive set of wins.
Mm-hmm.
You'll have to beat either Duke, again, North Carolina, Louisville, or Miami.
Yeah.
I think there's still a possibility that Miami gets in.
I don't know that this is a team that the eye test really plays into. Because my one sweeping declaration coming out of the weekend was, okay, Michigan and Florida State are in the championship. Or not in the championship, but they're in the college football playoff. Like, what I saw out of Ohio State and Penn State, neither of those teams, I think, can beat Michigan. The way I've seen them be dominant this year, and the way that I believe that they can be in big games.
And that's where that's kind of where I'm at, is if I get an A+ game out of every team, who wins?
Mm-hmm.
The only team I think can beat Florida State on their best day is Michigan.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, you're right. Florida State's my 2.
Florida State should be the 2. Because after beating Duke and after what we saw Carolina do, even though it was just a little smidgen of a hope that North Carolina could knock off Florida State anyway, it was still a chance. Now I see virtually no chance that Florida State does not go undefeated through this schedule, win the ACC championship, and there's no way you can leave them out. So
I tend to agree.
So I'm glad I was able to talk you into that. Because no, I don't. I think you've passed the point of, oh, he's just a homer. Well, I mean, there are only about 3-4 teams that you can actually make the case for to be in the top 4.
To me, there are only 4 that you can make the case for to be that high.
Yeah. So, and Florida State's one of them. Number 3,
the Washington Huskies.
Oh. Okay.
I still believe in this team.
Okay.
Michael Penix is special.
Mm-hmm.
Now, is this a little bit of a cop-out? It is, because I know this is going to sort itself out. If Washington and Ohio State played right now, who I'll go ahead and tell you Ohio State's my 4, and Georgia is my 5. If they played right now, can I tell you definitively that Washington would beat them? No. I can tell you definitively Washington has a better offense. Ohio State has a better defense, but I think Washington's defense is closer to Ohio State's offense than the transverse of that.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Washington does have to beat USC in their house, Utah, Oregon State in their house, and Washington State, and win a game of the Pac-12 title game. They're the only team left that can go undefeated.
Mm-hmm.
If Washington doesn't go undefeated, the Pac-12 is getting left out. Period. That's the way this will go. And I think they are good enough to be in this. Now, they could completely piddle in my punch bowl. And let's say you get the shot, you play Michigan, and you get boat raced. I think that is a possibility.
Mm-hmm.
I saw how a strong running Oregon team was able to run on them. And I don't know how you would hold up against Michigan or Florida State or Ohio State or Georgia, for that matter.
Yeah.
But in terms of the eye test and the strength of your record, they deserve to be 3.
Despite the fact that Iowa scored more touchdowns this week than they did.
Oh, that was last week.
Okay. I mean, there was nothing to. I'm glad I didn't watch this game.
Arizona State is for some reason the 2 Arizona schools have been a headache for every team in the Pac-12. They don't beat them very often unless they're playing Washington State, and Jeremy wagered on it. That's that didn't go my way.
Yep.
But they're a headache. They will come out and annihilate Stanford this week, and I think they will annihilate USC in 2 weeks.
Yep. All right. Number 4 is Ohio State, you said?
4 is Ohio State. You do have the strength of record.
Best.
But you don't pass the eye test. Now, you have a shot to unwind that because you do play Michigan. You go into the Big House and beat them, you're in. I don't really care what happens in the Big Ten title game. You beat Michigan in their house, you're in. You go into that because I will say the same thing about Ohio State I said about Michigan. You're going to play Wisconsin or Iowa or somebody like that. So you will get in. Now the question is, does Michigan get in too with just a loss to you? So if I'm wrong on Ohio State, they have every opportunity to prove me wrong. Then you get in the playoff and we see.
Yep.
This is where I keep struggling when it comes to Ohio State. You're 4 here. J.J. McCarthy, Michael Penix, Jordan Travis, Kyle McCord. One of these things is not like the others. One of these things just doesn't belong. And I don't think you're strong enough outside of Marvin Harrison to make up for that.
Yeah. But I was going to say whose defense is better between
Michigan's.
this one and you were just talking about Washington, right?
Oh, their defense is better than Washington's.
No,
I
I
would
was
take
saying,
Florida State.
whose defense is better, though? Is it Ohio State's defense or is it Arizona State's defense that we just saw shut them out of the end zone?
I don't disagree with you.
I mean, it's just this past week was a red flag for me as far as Washington is concerned.
I get it.
You just can't get shut out of the end zone like that and expect everybody to go, "Oh yeah, you're fine. Your offense is fine." It's been great throughout the season here, but yeah,
They had a trap game with Arizona before the Oregon game. They had a trap game with Arizona State the week after the Oregon game.
Yeah.
Now you come out and do the same thing with Stanford. Now we'll talk.
Now we got a problem. You make that suckitude consistent, and then we'll talk. Ohio State at 4, who has the best resume in the country right now, and I don't think it's not really close. I mean, you got Florida State's got the win over.
Florida State's is pretty close.
Yeah, but you have a win over 2 top 20 teams, and they got a win over 2 top 15 teams. So there's a little gap there. In how we see the 2 opponents there. But still, it's the eye test thing that keeps them at number 4.
Yes.
Now, number 5.
Your Georgia Bulldogs.
Georgia Bulldogs, yeah. This is fun. I feel we're just in a holding pattern right now, right? I had the bye week this past week. You got Florida coming up this week, and that's going to be interesting without having Brock Bowers.
The next 4 weeks, and I'm going to say the same thing about Georgia I said with Washington. This is a bit of a cop-out because if you survive the next 4 weeks, you're in, and it's not really all that debatable because you're going to play Georgia. You'll play Georgia Tech at the end of the season. I don't think even in their house they can beat you. Then you get to the SEC title game in Alabama, LSU. Alabama can't score, and LSU can't stop anybody. So I just think you're more of a complete team than those 2. Could one of them beat you? Sure. It would take a very special effort from them.
I would agree. I still view Georgia as a college football playoff team right now, but I will not know that until Brock Bowers comes back.
I was about to say, I pretty well do too, but there were 2 cop-outs of Washington's got the schedule and Ohio State plays Michigan.
Yes.
So if Ohio State loses to Michigan, then everything I have said it becomes confirmed. And down you go.
Yep. All right. We always do the top 13 because Jeremy's a superstitious man. And so when we come back, we will continue with number 6 here in the Sportsocracy on the Week 9 power rankings in college football.
The season we've all been waiting for is here. No, not that one. The season of the Big Orange Tent is underway in Western North Carolina. The area's largest selection of Halloween costumes, decorations, and accessories is at the Big Orange Tent at the Asheville Mall. Halloween Express is your one-stop shop for adult and child costumes, superheroes, horror icons, inflatable suits. You can find it all under the Big Orange Tent at the Asheville Mall. 10 to 8 Monday through Saturday, 12 to 6 on Sundays.
At Ingles, we're proud to sponsor area athletics at all levels. Whether we're building new fields for T-ball, Celebrating Friday night rivals, televising college basketball games, bringing the Fan Fest to semi-pro soccer, or taking you out to the ball game at your minor league park. We're here for the fans. No one gets the dedication to the home team like you guys. And we've got all the sports you can handle. It's all in the bag. Ingles. Low prices. Love the savings.
Hi, I'm Kyle at Blindster.com. Want to save big on custom faux wood blinds, shutters, cellular shades, and more? Shop Blindster today and save up to 50% over comparable blinds from brick and mortar stores. Get custom blinds at low prices and free shipping at Blindster.com.
Gillette Intimate gives guys a gentle and easy shave on there. And around there. And even under there. Don't treat your groin like junk. Respect it with Gillette Intimate, the best a man can get. Buy now at a retailer near you.
I can't wait for what's next. Even with higher stroke risk due to atrial fibrillation, an irregular heartbeat not caused by a heart valve problem. Eliquis, apixaban tablets, reduces stroke risk. It's the #1 cardiologist prescribed blood thinner.
Don't stop taking prescription Eliquis without talking to your doctor, as this may increase your risk of stroke. Eliquis can cause serious and, in rare cases, fatal bleeding. Don't take Eliquis if you have an artificial heart valve, abnormal bleeding, or have antiphospholipid syndrome. While taking, you may bruise more easily or take longer for bleeding to stop. A spinal injection while on Eliquis increases risk of blood clots, which may cause paralysis, the inability to move. Get medical help right away for unexpected bleeding or unusual bruising, or if you have tingling, numbness, or muscle weakness. It may increase your bleeding risk if you take medicines such as aspirin products, NSAIDs, SSRIs, SNRIs, and blood thinners. Tell your doctor about all planned medical or dental procedures. Learn more at Eliquis.com or call 1-855-ELIQUIS.
Running a small business is no small task. At Home Trust Bank, we work hard to prepare businesses for whatever tomorrow may bring. Your dreams are our business, and we have local experts who can help you plan for a successful future. Dependable guidance you need, and service you'll appreciate. At Home Trust Bank, we take your small business banking personally. Visit your local Home Trust branch or anytime at htb.com. Member FDIC.
The Asheville Championship returns to Harrah's Cherokee Center in Asheville November 10th and 12th. This year's field is the best yet. The Clemson Tigers, Maryland Terrapins, Davidson Wildcats, and the Blazers of UAB. 4 exciting matchups with a champion to be crowned in one of the premier early season tournaments in college basketball. For more information and to get your tickets, go to AshevilleChampionship.com. That's AshevilleChampionship.com. It all starts in Asheville November 10th and 12th. Proudly sponsored by Ingalls Markets.
The Sportsocracy. We treat star athletes better because they're better people.
That's not fair!
Life isn't fair, kiddo. Get used to it.
We are in the Sportsocracy. This is ESPN Asheville, and by a special request from Jeremy Green, he just wanted to see some of these sick moves.
Who's gonna break the news? Who's gonna break the news? Who's gonna break the news? Who's gonna break the news?
You've been hanging out with Mark Starling entirely too much. Kevin Stefanski says that Deshaun Watson will focus on his rehab this week and P.J. Walker will start.
Wah, wah.
Man, that guaranteed deal that's aging like a dairy product, ain't it? By the way, get Seattle -3.5 while you still can, because that's getting ready to go to the low price of way more than that.
Is it, though?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, they've been in every game that they've been in, they've been in every game because of that defense. So
P.J. Walker against that secondary. End of message. Repeat the line. Yeah. Oh, and I get a week to game plan for him? Oh, okay. Yeah, I've read this book. I know how this goes. Oh, and it's an East Coast team traveling west. You got to go all the way to Seattle. It's going to be cold and rainy. Yep, Seattle. Let me go ahead and beat the Chief. Let me make that pick right now. Seattle Seahawks.
All right, Deshaun Watson going to continue to sit with the sore shoulder. Look, I mean, there's no question, though. It is hurt, right? The questions that we had of, is he hurt? Is he just playing with him? It's been his decision, right, to sit out all this time. It was clear that he was hurt, right? When you saw him on the field, you saw him try to throw the ball. It went, oh, that didn't look good. And it didn't look like, oh, that's just rusty old Deshaun that we've been seeing since he came back.
Yeah, I don't know. But back satisfied Browns fan said he's going to clip this and said P.J. Walker MVP. Okay.
Do that.
I mean, I've been wrong before.
You can be holding on to that video clip for a long time.
I mean, I've been wrong before. I will say, I don't know if 15 of 32 for 178 yards and an interception is MVP caliber.
He's just working his way up to it.
Yeah, he's going to have
smoothing in there.
I'm just gut feeling. I'm going to say he's not. The pride of the Houston Roughnecks.
Yeah.
P.J. Walker.
Yeah. Fun, ain't it? College football.
I mean, although with that defense, this game could be 10-6. So
that was kind of my thought.
I would just lean to it's 10-6 Seattle Seahawks.
Right. I don't know how much that's going to balloon.
Now, it's entirely possible that I bet that game Seattle right now, which I just did in the break.
Mm-hmm.
And then when the line swells, I take Cleveland plus the 7.5.
Right. That was going to be my question.
That is that's a game I love to play.
How much does that line move? I mean, does it go from Seattle 3.5 to Seattle 4.5? Or is it going to balloon up by a full field goal, like you said? Could it go to 7.5?
Well, I mean, and look, the defense has been good.
Mm-hmm.
But as Evan Doyle, who's on fire right now, just said, the defense just gave up 30-plus to the Mullet Man. I feel as though we'd be missing the boat here if we didn't acknowledge that. He also said Deshaun got the bag and dipped. You can't convince me otherwise.
That's how it appears.
I'm not going to accuse him of that. But I can tell you Evan Doyle is not the first one to accuse him of that.
Mm-hmm. College football power rankings, the playoff first ranking comes out soon, right?
Next Tuesday.
Next Tuesday. I thought it was real soon that we were going to start seeing the college football playoff rankings come out each and every week. But we always do our power ranking here, and we've already given you the top 5. Top 5.
It's a little bleak from here.
Michigan, Florida State at 2, Washington, Ohio State at 4, and the Georgia Bulldogs at 5. Now at number 6, this has to be
the Oregon Ducks.
Oh,
quack quack.
Okay.
Yeah. If they put, I know who you're wanting me to say. I'll go ahead and tell you. It's gonna be a minute.
Really?
I don't buy that team at all.
But because of the schedule, we'll get there. Should right? All right, we'll get to it. We'll get to it.
No.
Explain.
Think of the caveat of power rankings. If you play on a neutral field right now, who wins? Oregon, Oklahoma. Who are you taking?
I got you.
Because if you say Oklahoma, I'm going to ask how many crimes did you smoke before you just said that?
The 6-1 Oregon Ducks.
I think this team they're good.
Mm-hmm.
If you told me a one-loss team made the playoff, I feel like it's Oregon.
Mm-hmm.
They run the table. They win the Pac-12 title, and then that loss to Washington, maybe they avenge it in the Pac-12 title game, and that's enough to get them in.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you're going to need some help, don't get me wrong, but they've got a lot of players. And the more I've gone down the rabbit hole, I really start doing NFL draft things started about 2 weeks ago in terms of rankings. I'd been scouting them anyway. But I look at how many players they have that are going to be in my top 150. Several are in my first – two are in my first round, and I think 4 are in my first 3 rounds.
Mm-hmm.
That's a good team. I don't believe in Bo Nix, and you know that.
Mm-hmm.
But he does look different in Oregon than he did at Auburn.
He absolutely does. And they have the defense to go along with a really good offense, and I still feel like they're the best team in the Pac-12. I know Washington beat them head-to-head, but I don't know. I mean, you can pull whatever excuses you want to out of that. Bo Nix made a bad throw at bad time. Dan Lanning kept going for fourth down, whatever. To me, they looked like the better team. Washington came up with the game-winning drive when they needed to, and I give Michael Penix all the credit for that. But I still feel like they're the better team, more well-rounded team than Washington. And very well, they would deserve a playoff spot to me if they were able to run the table and come up with avenge the win in the Pac-12 championship game. All right, number 7.
Roll Tide, the Alabama Crimson Tide.
Well, they've climbed up the rankings here a little bit.
Jalen Milroe's looking more comfortable. Beating the smoke off Tennessee, that didn't hurt your cause.
Mm-hmm.
Not even a little bit. Because Tennessee's, they're a good, not great team. And Alabama got behind, which was my biggest drawback, is what happens if that happens? Then Tennessee didn't score again.
Right.
And that to me is impressive.
Mm-hmm. You get down 20-7 to a team that's in the top 15, and you come back and score 27 unanswered points. I realize we might have questions about your scheme and about your talent and things like that, but yeah, you deserve your flowers after you've done that on the road.
I still have a lot of questions about this team, but head-to-head on a neutral field right now, I would take them over everybody else behind them.
Mm-hmm. All right, number 8.
This is where Oklahoma comes in.
Mm-hmm.
Your resume, and when I say resume, I mean the fact that you're 7-0, and now you've beaten Sisters of Mercy 5 times, so that doesn't really mean a whole lot to me. Secret time, Liberty's not going to be in this either, and they're 8-0. So, good for you.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm almost as impressed by Liberty as I am by Oklahoma.
You just give them no flowers for the win over Texas.
You had a 50-50 game with a team that I also don't really believe in.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody's making a lot out of Quinn Ewers going down. Yeah, you're going to lose a game. You're going to lose a game. And without Ewers, you're going to see that offense, they run the ball just fine.
Mm-hmm.
But, I mean, you've had to get up for one game all year. And then you almost lose to UCF, who is genuinely god-awful.
Mm-hmm.
You turn the ball over. It's just there's nothing impressive about it. Okay, you make the playoff. Awesome. I don't care who you play. I will take them. I will take them minus the number, and they will beat you until they get tired of beating you.
Mm-hmm.
You could tell me that I could get Michigan minus 41.5 against Oklahoma. I'd take it.
I'd take it.
I would take it. Because they will beat you absolutely brainless.
Uh-huh.
Go back and watch that UCF tape.
Tell us how you really feel.
Well, it's comical. This is the reason that I'm not one of those well, if you're a conference champion. Okay, so what happens when your conference sucks? And theirs does. Badly. Who is the third best team in the Big 12 right now? I'll wait.
Is it Kansas? Maybe.
I'm looking at I'm not looking at the record because right now the second team in the Big 12 is Iowa State.
Yeah.
Iowa State, Oklahoma State, Kansas, BYU, West Virginia. Awesome. You're the best of that. You know what? That and 225 will get you in a Biden economy? A Coca-Cola Classic.
And you do have to play 3 of those teams coming up.
Awesome. None of them are any good. Neither are you, but you're the best of the broken toys.
Yep.
Congratulations. Right. Here's your flowers.
Number 9.
This is where it gets a little more difficult because now we're into the I don't really believe in any of you.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to put Notre Dame right here, even with 2 losses.
Really? Okay.
Even with 2 losses.
Neutral field, you still feel like they're better than everybody else that would be in this conversation?
I do because Texas with no quarterback, I'll pass.
Mm-hmm. Better than Utah?
Utah, I think, gets unveiled this weekend.
Okay.
Everybody's losing their mind that Utah beat USC. Here's the secret time. USC's not very good.
Mm-hmm.
USC's not very good.
The Utah defense is so good, though. I feel like that'd be a fun game.
Them and Notre Dame?
Yeah.
You very well could see that in the Fiesta Bowl.
Let's go. Need to make some of these other games interesting somehow.
Yeah, the non-playoff games are just
wait until we go to 12.
You're going to – well, no, I mean, then there's at least ramifications. All right, so I mean, just look if you did 12 now. You get Georgia. You have to beat a team that's at least somewhat good. It'll be your best win of the year.
Mm-hmm. No, but I'm saying the other bowls. Like when we get to the CFP and it goes 12 teams, all the other bowls. Okay, yeah, good luck getting me to watch some of that.
I don't watch most of them anyway.
No, I was going to say you might get the random matchup between 2 high-flying offenses that you go, okay, that might be worth a watch. I'm not by any means saying I'm against the 12-team expansion. Notre Dame at 9. What is their hope right now? That's basically it, right? Make the Fiesta Bowl.
Oh yeah, your hope is just to get into the New Year's Six. Now you're gonna have to beat Clemson in Clemson to do it, but I've already seen you do that, and this is a weak Clemson team. So your goal is to go 10-2. That's without a doubt your most losable game.
All right, back to the one-loss teams at number 10.
You would think so, wouldn't you?
I would.
LSU. LSU is putting up points at a really prolific rate. Defensively, yeah, you're terrible. Is anybody else elite at anything? Any team left on the board here, are they elite at anything? Because LSU's elite at throwing the ball.
Yeah. Offensively speaking?
No. At anything.
At anything.
I mean, please don't give me a punter, but are you really next level anywhere?
Yeah, maybe not.
I mean, I would have said Penn State was against the pass until I watched, literally knowing where the ball's going on practically every play. You couldn't stop it. Then you get the ball offensively. I didn't even kind of fear you scoring.
Right.
And I feel that way about Utah with their backup quarterback. Ole Miss, you're good offensively too, but you're even worse defensively than LSU is. That's not true, but it's close.
All right, LSU at number 10.
And LSU's another one of those. You're just trying to get to you just want to get to a nice bowl. Because you're going to do that Brian Kelly thing and finish 10-2. And yay, we're here.
Number 11.
This is where I'll put in Penn State.
Okay.
You still have players. I have not heard a definitive on Chop Robinson. He got hurt against Ohio State, and it did not look good. That changes that defense a lot, and your offense is just inconsistent and gross.
I was disappointed that they weren't able to do more offensively against Ohio State. I thought that this team would be better, right? And they are better, right? When they play lesser opponents. See, when I first saw this on Saturday, and I went, okay, well, I did expect more. They are doing more against lesser teams. I just thought you could have that extra gear when you face an elite team. And you couldn't do that when you get to Ohio State. It's never going to get better, I don't think, for James Franklin. He's always going to be the third wheel.
You very well could be right.
It'll never be anything less. You may be a better coach. You may have the better scheme, but you'll never have the talent of Michigan or Ohio State.
I heard no lies.
And is that because of the money? Is it because you don't have the money, or is it just because you don't have the recruits, or do you not have the station? Do you not have the ability to sell them on your school over the other two?
Well, I mean, Penn State always has players. It's just.
But it's the level of player, right? I mean, look at Ohio State over the years and how many superstar players they've had.
Well, Penn State's had a slew of them, too.
They have, but think about the difference. You look at Ohio State and all of the receivers that have come out of there. Penn State.
Well, that's what misses from Penn State. You produce running backs, you don't produce receivers.
Penn State's had one at a time. Right, you had Romeo Dubs and Jahan Dotson and
Romeo Dubs did not.
Did
go
he
to
not
Penn
go
State.
there?
No,
I thought he did.
No,
where did he go?
You're gonna make me look this up, and it's gonna irk me until I do.
Oh no, Nevada. That's where he went to school. I was
about to say I can't off the top of my head. I can't
Who
tell
was
you.
The other? Chris Godwin was one of those receivers that you've had.
They've had one at a time.
Yeah, Ohio State gets them in bunches, and so you're never going to be able to live up to that. I think it's going to be a problem for James Franklin forever. Let's go number 12.
12 is Texas. 13 is Ole Miss.
Okay.
And those are just you're playing the string out. With no Quinn Ewers, I don't think Texas is really a threat to anybody. And he's going to be out several weeks was the last report that I saw. So, I mean, just looking at their schedule, you play in the Big 12 too, which is beneficial. You could get got at TCU. I don't think anybody's beating you in your house, even with Murphy playing quarterback. But I don't buy it. Quinn Ewers is too integral to this offense because what they do really well is they A.D. Mitchell really well and they Xavier Worthy really well. And now you've taken that away because I don't think you're going to be able to do that at the same rate with backup quarterback.
Okay. There's your college football playoff power ranking, week 9. We're getting down to the nitty-gritty of the season. A lot of these teams, if you look on their schedules, you're not happy about the strength of schedule they've had so far. It's about to turn up, right?
There are a slew of them.
Right.
Georgia's is about to crank up. You get Michigan, Ohio State in a few weeks. Yeah, we're getting ready to separate.
Yep.
And I feel like we kind of already have because once I got past 6, I went, well, it's getting kind of difficult to figure out how you're going to make it to the playoffs.
Right. You're in the Sportsocracy, and this is ESPN Asheville.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
Looking good and feeling great. Nothing changing from what I was thinking earlier. It may not rain here for the next week or longer. Lots of sunshine today, 75. Tonight we'll dip back to about 50, mainly clear 40s out in the suburbs. Thursday, sunny, 75. Friday, mostly sunny in the upper 70s. And lather, rinse, repeat with the sunshine into the weekend. Saturday and Sunday, sunny and even warmer up near 80. From the Weather Channel, I'm Ray Stajic.
This report is sponsored by Blindster.com.
Hi, I'm Kyle at Blindster.com. Shopping for new blinds? At Blindster, we offer over 50 different blinds, shades, and shutters at low prices, custom made for your windows, and shipping is free. Shop at home and order 10 free samples of any product before you buy. Blindster.com.
College basketball is kicking off in Asheville with the Asheville Championship at the Harris Cherokee Center, Asheville on November 10th and 12th, featuring the men's basketball teams from Clemson, Maryland, Davidson, and University of Alabama, Birmingham. The Asheville Championship is such an incredible way to bring quality college basketball to the fans of the Blue Ridge Mountains. Tickets on sale at AshevilleChampionship.com. Save your spot and cheer on your team at the Asheville Championship on November 10th and 12th.
When seasonal allergies and clogged sinuses make you miserable, you want fast relief. But recently there's confusion about which cold and allergy products work and which ones don't. In fact, oral phenylephrine, a drug found in many oral decongestants in the cold and allergy aisle, is currently being evaluated by the FDA because it may be ineffective. Luckily, there's a drug-free solution called Navage that for many provides on-the-spot relief. Navage is the natural way to relieve congestion by sucking out the allergens, germs, and mucus that can make you stuffy and miserable. Nasal irrigation works, and Navage makes it quick and easy, but more than anything, it helps you breathe better. Navage uses powered suction to pull saline in one nostril, around the back of the nose, and out the other nostril. Trust drug-free Navage so you can breathe better, snore less, and feel healthier. Ask for Navage at Walmart, Walgreens, CVS, Rite Aid, Target, or find us online at Navage.com. Navage, N-A-V-A-G-E, clean nose, healthy life.
At Ingles, whether we're celebrating Friday night rivals, televising college basketball games, bringing the Fan Fest to semi-pro soccer, or taking you out to the ball game at your minor league park, it's all in the bag. Ingles, low prices, love the savings.
If cleanliness is next to godliness, look around the car right now. Is that very godly? Look, life comes at you fast, but so does WBNC Auto Detailing. They have the tools to make your interior look like it's coming off the showroom floor. You don't believe me? Check them out on Instagram. All that filth and years of stains disappear. WBNC Auto Detailing does full interior and exterior details with paint correction, and they do wax and ceramic coatings. Call WBNC Auto Detailing at 455-3700. Premium care with a Southern hospitality touch.
I believe real estate isn't about properties. It's about people. I'm Clarissa Hyatt-Zach with eXp Realty, serving all of Western North Carolina. Navigating the home buying and selling journey can feel overwhelming at times, and that's why having an agent who cares about you and your needs is key. I'm a native of Western North Carolina, and I close over a home a week. I'm an expert in the market, pricing my sellers correctly to net you the most money, and working as a skilled negotiator for my buyers. Please give me a call today at 828-774-6343 to set up a complimentary market analysis.
On the weird scale, there's Vegas, there's Florida, and there's Asheville. Let's get weird, Asheville.
Back in the Sportsocracy, and let's go to Murfreesboro, Tennessee. You ever been to Murfreesboro?
I have.
You have.
Not only do I like the cut of your jib, I like the name of your town.
Like,
Murfreesboro.
Why were you ever in Murfreesboro?
I mean, that wasn't the destination, but I've been through it.
Okay. All right. I was going to say on your way to Nashville or something. That's always like I was on my way to Nashville or I was on my way to Memphis, and you went around your elbow to get to your keister on that one. But, yeah, Murfreesboro's a little out of the way unless you're going to, Middle Tennessee State University. But there was an interesting situation last week where police were called when some people outside of a mall, it looks like it's some kind of a strip mall or something, they took not a screenshot, they took a picture of a car that looked like it had been wired up in some way. So when you see, a car with a bunch of wires sticking out of the passenger side of the vehicle, I mean, what does the rational person think? It's a bomb, right? That's a car that's been rigged to blow. So they called the police. And the police came and they brought in the bomb squad because even the police were looking at this car going, yeah, there's something fishy about that. The passenger side of this car looks like it's got 2 bath towels that have been rolled up. One stretches along the back of the back door. One stretches along the back of or on the side of the front door. And there's wires going in between the two and connecting to the driver's side or the passenger side front handle. There's duct tape strapping all of this apparatus to the side of the car. Jeremy, would you like to take a guess at what this was for?
No, I wouldn't, Bob.
He's like, no, I wouldn't. I don't know if that's why he doesn't know or he just wasn't listening to the story.
I'll tell you it was one of those two.
They evacuated everybody from the buildings, and they kept searching for 2 hours to try to find the owner of this vehicle. I don't know why it took you 2 hours to go, hey, there's a car that looks suspicious parked outside of this place. I wonder if it could belong to a dude that works inside the building. The guy had been standing across the street the entire time while they were out there just wondering, we don't want to trip off this bomb. Well, no, all you had to do was ask the guy who worked inside the store, and he'd tell you that he put it on his car because he didn't want anybody to hit his doors with their doors. He put makeshift bumpers on the outside of his car. And with the way that you did it, you made it look like a bomb. Congratulations. That is Tennessee engineering at its finest.
My story is also from the South. We go to Atlanta, Georgia. A woman named Susan Hodgson. She went on vacation. She owns a home that she does not live in. This was her family home. Taxes are paid. This has been in the family for many years, but no one has lived in it for 15-ish years, according to the AP story. While she's on vacation, she gets a call from a neighbor. Mm-hmm. She says, did you have somebody come demolish your house? No. Well, it's been demolished.
Yikes.
Tells the neighbor, nope, that was not me. So the neighbor goes to talk to the construction company and was told to shut up and mind her business. So neighbor gets the phone number of the construction company off one of the trucks, gives it to Ms. Hodgson, who then calls and says, I am the owner of this property. What are you doing at my house? The foreman then looks at the order, pulls it out, and said, oh, I'm at the wrong address, packs everything up, and leaves.
Oopsie poopsie.
He went oopsie poopsie after he flattened the house. He was at the wrong address. This was a couple of weeks ago. You Call It, We Haul It is the name of the company, and they have not responded to anything since.
Aha.
They did put out a press release that said they are looking into it and seeing what the next steps look like. Well, I mean, I'm not a lawman, and I'm not a very smart man, but I'm going to say I believe you owe Miss Hodgson one house. and I don't believe you're going to be able to do it with what's left of the one you demolished.
Yeah.
That house looks like it was built 400 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
How do you not check that? How do you not go, hey, is this is the house I'm supposed to tear down? Correct.
You would think.
Then you tear it down and just go, okay, bye.
Yeah. We'll see you next time.
Yes. Hey, if you ever need a house actually torn down, you can see we do tear down houses. Then they just left the rubble sitting there. Like, it's apparently you don't call it, we don't haul it.
It's your problem now.
We have breaking news.
Who's gonna break the news? Who's gonna break the news? Who's gonna break the news? Who's gonna break the news?
This one comes from Josina Anderson. Breaking free agent defensive end Frank Clark just told me he's flying in today for a visit with the Seahawks. If all goes well, he will sign with Seattle. And then a few minutes later, he is indeed signing with the Seattle Seahawks.
Yes.
This is where he started the old career, losing Nwosu last week. This became obviously a need for Seattle. But I mean, because you got to have somebody that can rush the passer that's not on a rookie deal, and they didn't have any of those. So, I mean, this is a reunion that makes all the sense in the world.
No doubt.
It felt like the way this was always going to go, and it's a good low-risk, high-reward signing for the Seattle Seahawks.
All right, very good.
Seeing I don't know how much he has at this point.
What do you mean?
I mean, how much do you actually expect from Frank Clark?
I mean, at this point, it's
all right. Let me ask it a different way. At 30 years old, what percentage would you say he is of what he was the last time he was really relevant in Kansas City? Because I'll go 80.
Okay, I was going to shoot lower than that, more like 70.
I'd say you get 80. He comes in as a situational pass rusher, plays 20 to 25 snaps a game on obvious passing downs, and you let the other players. The other young guys that are already in that organization do the real heavy lifting.
Mm-hmm. Okay. You can see that. Denver Broncos safety Kareem Jackson, he got suspended for 4 games by the NFL for repeated illegal hits. He's done it like 7 times this year. But they have now come back and said that he has had that lowered. So the NFL is now lowering the suspension for Kareem Jackson to 2 games instead of 4.
It was a very dirty hit. Luke Musgrave got hurt.
Oh, no doubt.
The play.
No doubt. But like I said, that's like the 3rd real bad one he's had this year.
Yeah, he's getting into that Vontaze Burfict territory of you're a notorious headhunter. You're a notorious dirty player. And to be frank, I'm really shocked the NFL reduced this. When I heard 4, I went, yeah, that sounds about right.
I am as well. When you've had to be fined, I think he's been fined 4 times. Yeah, 4 times this season for unnecessary roughness. At some point, you have to learn your lesson. And at some point, the league has to be the one to teach you the lesson, right? We're not going to let you do this anymore. You're not going to come out here and headhunt players. You're not going to come out here and hit defenseless receivers. We have preached this over and over and over again, and you have to get the message. I am kind of shocked that they went lighter.
I'm stunned that they reduced this.
Right.
Especially after a hit like that was so obviously over the line. And it hurt the guy as well.
Yeah. Coming up after the top of the hour, we're going to have the daily draft.
We were asked earlier in the week if we would redraft the top 10 of the 2023 NFL draft after what we've seen so far. And I'll go ahead and tell you, quite a shakeup.
Yes, quite a shakeup. So we'll do that in the daily draft coming up here after the top of the hour. Jeremy's got his parlay of the night for another Kusa Tuesday.
This one's going to hit. I feel it. I feel it in my plums. This one's going to hit.
Yeah.
Didn't get too deep into anytime touchdown scorers. We took one dog to get their first win in FBS football. Let's go Bearcats with a K.
You're not going betting NBA yet? You're not desperate for that enough?
I will play some NBA DFS tonight. I just the NBA should move at the start of its season to Christmas. You want me to care? That's what you're gonna have to do.
Your Denver Nuggets, though, they started out with a win last night over the Lakers.
And they're gonna win another title this year.
Those rings are the
sweet,
best rings I've seen.
So clean,
they're beautiful.
And now we start the hunt for my 2024 NBA champion, Denver Nuggets. And that'll be the last time you hear that for 3 months until the NBA is relevant again.
Indeed. It is the Sportsocracy, ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, and 1400 back in the Ingles studio. Right after this, Jeremy's parlay of the night coming up next.
The season we've all been waiting for is here. No, not that one. The season of the Big Orange Tent is underway in Western North Carolina. The area's largest selection of Halloween costumes, decorations, and accessories is at the Big Orange Tent at the Asheville Mall. Halloween Express is your one-stop shop for adult and child costumes, superheroes, horror icons, inflatable suits. You can find it all under the Big Orange Tent at the Asheville Mall. 10 to 8 Monday through Saturday, 12 to 6 on Sundays.
The best season of the year is here.
Tailgate season.
Monster Brewing presents this season's MVP,
The Beast Unleashed.
with 4 bold, familiar flavors.
With 0 caffeine and 0 sugar.
Beast Unleashed is your new pregame ritual.
With white haze, mean green, peach perfect, and scary berries, there's a flavor for every fan. The Beast Unleashed.
6% alcohol by volume. Unleashed responsibly. Must be 21 or over. Beast Unleashed available at your local retailer.
Yep, I'm looking at the pages right now.
Thomas's translation company just lost its only 2 Spanish speakers. Without the right replacements, he'll be in problemas.
Yeah, we'll have those ready. Tonight's gonna be a late one.
Indeed can help him hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. With Indeed Instant Match, we immediately show you quality candidates whose resumes on Indeed meet your sponsored job description. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
The iHeartRadio app and the NFL right in your pocket. The home of the NFL Podcast Network, covering all 32 NFL teams, plus all the expert advice to win your fantasy league. And, of course, live NFL games.
Touchdown!
Download the free iHeartRadio app today. Free never sounded so good.
2 legends go into the Hall of Honor. This Sunday, the Panthers will honor wide receiver Muhsin Muhammad and pass rusher Julius Peppers when the Houston Texans come to town. Join me and Ish Shroff alongside Jake Delhomme, Luke Kuechly, and Sharon Thorsland. Our coverage on the Carolina Panthers radio network comes your way at noon Eastern. Kickoff follows at 1 p.m.
Panther football live all season long on News Radio 570 WWNC.
The annoying runny nose, the constant sneezing, the itchiness, and battle just to catch your breath. If you suffer from seasonal allergies, sinusitis, or nagging sinus congestion, there's a natural, easy-to-use solution that can help provide fast, drug-free relief. It's called Navage, and it uses powered suction to rinse your nasal passages in seconds. Millions of people use Navage daily to help provide relief from seasonal allergies and sinus congestion. Medications treat the symptoms, but Navage treats the problem at the source, flushing out the allergens and pollen trapped in your nose. Navage also helps wash out airborne bacteria, dust, dirt, and viruses quickly and painlessly, so you can get back to breathing clearly again. Say goodbye to sinus suffering and hello to better breathing with Navage. Navage is available at Walmart, Walgreens, Target, CVS, Rite Aid, and online at Navage.com. Navage, Navage. Clean nose, healthy life.
Pain in your knees, shoulders, hip, or back that won't go away? Check out QC Kinetics for long-lasting relief. No surgery, drugs, or downtime. QC Kinetics, 828-333-9517. With locations in Asheville and Greenville.
Parlay of the night for a Coosa Wednesday. I gave you Jacksonville State minus the 8.5 in the first hour. Gave you Sam Houston in the money line. We're going to add a little bit to that. Jacksonville State FIU, I'm going under the 47.5. FIU does not score easily. Jacksonville State has one of the best defenses in the country, and Jacksonville State runs the ball a lot. So I'm going under that 47.5. Anwar Lewis, anytime touchdown scorer. Starting running back for Jacksonville State, probably going to miss this game. Lewis came back a couple weeks ago, and he's due for a touchdown. Those three together, $8.50 in that one game. Switching to UTEP, Sam Houston State. I don't love anybody to score in this game, really, period. And under any prop that you can find. They're kind of hard to find. You'll have to dig. But if you do find one, take the under. However, the 37-point spread is just not enough. Neither one of these offenses is great, but neither of these defenses is great either. Sam Houston been better in conference play, so I'm going over the 37. Sam Houston in the money line, that turns into plus 192. You put them in a 5-leg parlay together, put 5 on it just like I am, and that $5 wager will pay out $138.70. I am super confident that at least 4 legs of this hit, and I'm pretty sure we're going to hit them all tonight. Take those wagers to betus.com. Use our promo code Sportsocracy. Get a 125% deposit match and up to 30 risk-free bets so you can wager football with us all season long.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
Looking good and feeling great. Nothing changing from what I was thinking earlier. It may not rain here for the next week or longer. Lots of sunshine today, 75. Tonight we'll dip back to about 50, mainly clear 40s out in the suburbs. Thursday, sunny, 75. Friday, mostly sunny in the upper 70s, and lather, rinse, repeat with the sunshine into the weekend. Saturday and Sunday, sunny and even warmer up near 80. From the Weather Channel, I'm Ray Stajic.
When it comes to breast cancer, research is the reason we know that early detection saves lives. If it's time for your annual screening, schedule your appointment now. If you're not sure if you should be screened, talk to your doctor about when you should start and what your screening options are. Don't delay. Breast cancer that remains undiagnosed is dangerous. Learn more from the Breast Cancer Research Foundation, the largest private funder of breast cancer research in the world. Find the latest breakthroughs in breast cancer prevention, diagnosis, treatment, metastasis, and survivorship at bcrf.org.
Now you can relive the greatest moments from our 2023 iHeartRadio Music Festival.
Streaming only on Hulu.
Lenny Kravitz kicks things off with his biggest hits.
Foo Fighters get the whole crowd singing along.
Tim McGraw debuts his new song live.
Public Enemy brings the 90s hip-hop energy.
Fall Out Boy covers a classic while literally on fire. And so much more.
Relive the greatest moments from our iHeartRadio Music Festival.
Streaming now only on Hulu for a limited time.
Gillette Intimate gives guys a gentle and easy shave on there. And around there. And even under there. Don't treat your groin like junk. Respect it with Gillette Intimate, the best a man can get. Buy now at a retailer near you.
From the Ingalls Studios, this is ESPN Asheville, WPEK, W225CJ Fairview, WMXF Waynesville, and iHeart Radio Station.
Now, your chance to win $1,000. Just enter this nationwide keyword on our website, money. That's money. Enter it now.
Log on now to ESPNAVL.com.
The Sportsocracy.
It fires me up, man. I love it. Say it one more time.
The Sportsocracy.
Shake it back!
Beer City's best sports talk.
It is gross.
Just earlier.
They are mature, actually. You just have to get to know them better.
Your lunchtime dose of dumbassery. Live from the Ingalls studio.
We are back in the Sportsocracy, and this is ESPN Asheville. Thanks for putting the Sportsocracy on your menu today for your lunchtime dose of dumbassery. It is a Wednesday. It's one of those down days, you know. There's nothing going on, really. It's just we're waiting for the next NFL week to kick up. There is Coosa football tonight. Jeremy gave you his bangers on that in the first and second hours of the program.
You can play a little NBA DFS tonight. If you're playing on DraftKings, Evan Mobley, Zach LaVine, you're welcome.
There you go.
Those are 2 free spaces on the board. If you want to make money, and trust me, wager, don't watch. If you want to make money in NBA DFS, let me give you a very solid piece of advice. There are 2 mid-tier players every single night that are mispriced. Play them, figure the rest out.
Mm-hmm.
And then play the big boys.
So those are your 2 keys to the night?
Those are my 2 cores tonight, yeah.
Okay. All right.
No Jared Allen for Cleveland, so Evan Mobley, should have, 22 rebounds.
Mm-hmm.
And who exactly is going to compete with Zach LaVine for touches outside of DeMar DeRozan?
You got LaMelo Ball in any of those lineups?
I do. He's a contrarian point guard. He's really expensive, but he's being defended by Trae Young.
Exactly.
So, that will be all the NBA we talk today.
Charlotte Hornets and Atlanta Hawks kicking off their seasons tonight in the NBA. It is a Wednesday, and it is time for the daily draft. We were asked a few days ago.
Whoever it was in
this.
the chat, feel free to say you were the one that asked this, because I'm not going to lie, I don't remember.
They wanted to see a redraft of 2023. So the first 10 picks of the draft, now that we know what we know, how much differently would this have gone in the top 10 last year?
And it would be different as of right now, because the Carolina Panthers had the number 1 pick in the draft.
Mm-hmm.
They took Bryce Young, and through 7 weeks of the NFL season, I can say I don't think you would have done that again. No one picks C.J. Stroud.
Yes. There's no doubt about it.
Now, am I positive that's how this is going to look at the end of the year? No, I'm not. He's been very poised. He has not turned the ball over much at all, only thrown 1 interception. He's made Nico Collins a thing. He's made Tank Dell a thing. He's been very impressive. Now, I will caution you before you go, oh, we got this wrong with Bryce Young. There have been a good number of times that a quarterback that didn't go first looked better than the one that did go first.
Mm-hmm.
This is a awful Carolina Panther team. He has no receivers outside Adam Thielen, and the offensive line is atrocious. But if Carolina had to do it all over again right now, 7 weeks into the season, C.J. Stroud would have been the number 1 pick.
Yes. Yeah. All right, the number 2 pick belonged to there. Are we doing this with the Houston trading up to 3? So Houston's got back-to-back picks here still? Because they still would have done it, right?
Not necessarily.
You don't think so?
Not necessarily.
I believe this.
So I control the 3rd pick. Based on what you do, I will tell you if we do that or not.
Okay.
Because for me, it totally depends on what you do.
Mm-hmm. Interesting. Okay. I believe this would go exactly the same as it did. You just switch the players' names.
I don't.
Houston Texans, they'll take Will Anderson. I think they'll take Will Anderson right out the gate because, I mean, if we don't have that pick yet, I don't know that I'm going Bryce Young with what I've seen so far.
Well, they took Will Anderson at 3, just to be clear.
Yes, I know. And if I had both picks here to deal with, then I probably would go Will Anderson and then Bryce Young. But I'm getting my guy, the guy he wants. That was the D'Amico Ryans pick. And with what D'Amico has shown me as a coach in the first few weeks of this season, I'm going to do what he says. I'm going to get his guy. That's why the trade was made. I had to have the quarterback for the GM, and I had to have the defensive guy that D'Amico wanted, my new coach wanted. So I think if all is, all in all, they'll go with Will Anderson because they love what they've seen so far.
I don't discredit that. It's not what I thought you were going to do. So, yes, we will keep the trade.
Okay.
And so I will have Houston's pick here at 3.
Mm-hmm.
They took Will Anderson, who you have already taken, and at 3, I'm taking Anthony Richardson.
Are you really?
I am.
Huh.
I am.
I was curious if you were going to do that or not.
I feel like Bryce Young has – do I still think Bryce is a better player? Yes. If you take what you have seen over the last 7 weeks along with the evaluation, because from what I've been told, Houston was more on Anthony Richardson than they were on Bryce Young.
Okay.
Take that for what it's worth. That was information that came out after the draft. It's really easy to say that, but I don't 100% understand why you would say that.
Would the injuries be the problem, though?
The injuries were always going to be a little bit of a problem, but doing this 7 weeks removed, I also know what the receiving core looks like. So I know I've got Tank Dell that is separating and is really good out of the slot. I've still got John Mechie. Nico Collins has been really, really good. And I don't know that they wouldn't have taken Anthony Richardson, knowing what you know now.
Okay.
Now, obviously, he's not hurt in this scenario, which takes something off the board.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know that what you've seen in Bryce is not unsettling to this point if you're expecting to be competitive in the next year or two.
Yeah.
With Carolina, you can be patient. You've already given up a pig. And if it were me, I would be taking Bryce at 4.
Mm-hmm.
But there have been some things that I've seen that are really unsettling.
All right, Indianapolis Colts with the number 4 pick. And this, I mean, to me, this is where Bryce would come off. Indianapolis still has to have a quarterback.
I don't disagree.
And they might be happy with what they've seen in Gardner Minshew, but he's not a long-term solution. You still have to have that. And had this actually happen on draft night, I feel they'd be head over heels about it. So Bryce Young will be the 4th pick to the Indianapolis Colts.
I get Seattle at 5. They took Devin Witherspoon in the actual NFL draft. I'm still going to take Devin Witherspoon here.
Yep.
He's been one of the highest-rated rookies in the league. I pretty well feel like we got this right, that would be the top 5. It's after this that things really start to change.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't see any reason that I shouldn't take who I already took. So I would say Devin Witherspoon would go at 5.
Okay.
Now, you get Arizona at 6, and this should not be the same player.
No.
Arizona's fine with Paris Johnson. He just hasn't been good, and that is not the question that we were asked.
No. If they were doing it now and everything that they've seen, I believe I would have to pull the trigger on Jalen Carter.
That's exactly what I would have done.
Because this guy has shown that he is good enough and was good enough to be a top 3 pick in the draft. Had it not been for the need at quarterback for these other teams, he would have gone before this. Jalen Carter is that dude.
I don't disagree.
And he will lead the Philadelphia Eagles back to a Super Bowl.
Well, and you also have to look at who the coach in Arizona is. I thought this was – when they made the trade originally, I already had the information that they were super high on Paris Johnson, and that was probably who they were going to get.
Mm-hmm.
There was also a little thing in the back of my head going, or they could be targeting Jalen Carter here. Put him in that Fletcher Cox role in Arizona.
Mm-hmm.
That was not how it went. They took Jalen Carter or Paris Johnson just as I had been informed that they would.
Right.
And it all came tumbling after from there. I am not taking Tyree Wilson at 7, although he did just have his first NFL sack.
Oh, good for him.
Strip sack fumble. I think he is getting better. Tank's derision of all things Raider. We took injuries out in this, right? It's Christian Gonzalez. He was special to start the year in New England.
I don't even think with the injury they would question it.
I really don't either.
Because I need a piece for the future.
I really don't either. He was phenomenal when he was on the field, and I thought the Raiders were going to take him at 7 when we did the draft.
Mm-hmm.
And so now I'm not going to say correct or wrong. I think Tyree Wilson was still a good call there, and I think he'll be fine in the NFL.
Mm-hmm.
But Christian Gonzalez that's a franchise piece, and you bypassed it for more of a project.
Christian Gonzalez to the Las Vegas Raiders. Number 8, that was the Atlanta Falcons pick. How do I change it?
I don't think you can. Just for posterity's sake.
And I agree. I look at it and I go, well, you would still be elated to have this, but what is happening that you're not using the guy that you drafted at 8?
Oh, he had a headache.
Even before that.
He's head hurt.
Even before that, you're handing the ball off to Tyler Algier 15 times a game. Stop doing that. I get that you believe in the kid and maybe you want to save Bijan for the future, but you're in a division race here. Act like it, right? You want to run the ball more? Then run the damn ball more. But don't take touches away from Bijan to give them to Tyler.
Yeah, that's Arthur Smith.
I know that sounds like a major smack to Tyler, but really it's a smack in the face to Bijan Robinson that you're not giving him the ball.
I agree with you. Now, I control number 9.
Yes.
And I'm the Chicago Bears because the Philadelphia Eagles didn't call to trade up to this pick.
Mm-hmm.
And for me, this is not close. And this is the best value pick of the draft in the real draft, and this is exactly where I think he would go now. I'm taking Puka Nacua. And I'm almost dumbfounded he lasted this long. And I will put him on the other side of DJ Moore, and maybe, just maybe, I can prop up Justin Fields enough to look like a real-life NFL quarterback.
All right.
Nakua's one of those guys that I started hearing about after minicamp, and I went, I get this every year. Then it kept happening in OTAs. Then it kept happening in camp. And I was really curious, and even what they said was not indicative of how good this kid is. He had a catch on the sideline against the Steelers that I am not sure that the physics of how he got both of his feet down still makes sense. I'm not sure he didn't break the space-time continuum to get his feet down, and I'm still not sure how he did it.
Mm-hmm.
He is real good. And I get that he had 2 off weeks before last week. It doesn't matter. He's going to be a Pro Bowler, and he's going to be a contender for NFL Rookie of the Year.
Mm-hmm.
He's going to be. Because if the C.J. Stroud regression happens like I think it will, I'm not sure the stat line he's going to throw up that you can keep from giving Rookie of the Year to that. I know it's typically a quarterback award, and I know C.J. Stroud has started off really special. Just don't be shocked if that goes the way I just said.
Yeah.
And
All
I'm
right.
really curious now that I've said that, what kind of number you can get on that. Folks, I may be making a wager live on air. So that's a thing I did.
That's okay. All right. Huh. And now I'm not sure what Philadelphia does at 10.
Really?
I mean, do you go with one of these linemen that have been really good?
I mean, in Philadelphia, you really don't need that.
And
I
that's
know
what
I would do. I don't think you're going to do it.
Yeah, I'm really clueless here. I'm going to go to my assistant GM. Help me out here.
I'm Philadelphia.
What would you do if you're Philadelphia and you're sitting at 10?
I'd take Devin A-Chain.
Would you really?
I would. I 100% would.
Huh.
It's the highest graded rookie on the year. I see what, and I wouldn't have made the DeAndre Swift deal most likely. I might have still done it. I don't know.
Right.
But you give me a playmaker like that out of the backfield, and I know I am Mr. I don't take running backs in the first round.
Mm-hmm.
That dude is different. And I know it's a different offense. I get all of those things.
I was not expecting that.
The only other player I even really considered was Brian Branch.
Okay. You got a safety that you need, I guess. You wouldn't have had to pull off the Kevin Byard deal.
Yeah.
If you had him.
He's more of a move piece. He would more fill that Chauncey Gardner-Johnson role that he's actually filling, oddly enough, in Detroit.
Right.
There any other players that you really wanted to talk about in this? Because I've got a couple.
I mean, I feel like the linemen have been pretty good this year. I mean, Skoronski's been good. Wright's been good.
Skoronski's been good, but he's been hurt.
Mm-hmm.
Wright's been good. And me taking
Broderick Jones.
Broderick Jones hasn't played a ton.
Mm-hmm.
He's been fine. He's still raw. The ones that I would have been looking specifically to talk about, Jordan Addison and Zay Flowers, Rashee Rice.
Mm-hmm.
Those are receivers. They obviously you can put up some stats and look better. Tuli Tuipulotu. That's the other one that I really wanted to mention because I almost said that with Philadelphia too.
Really?
I couldn't bring myself to do a redraft like this and not get Devon Achan's name into it. It didn't make sense.
I didn't realize that you thought that highly of him.
He's the number 1 graded player in the NFL right now. It's kind of hard for me not to.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you know how I feel about running backs. I am never take one in the first round. Jahmyr Gibbs would have also deserved his flowers there because I see a lot of dog in him too.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just glad Detroit finally saw it after they were already getting shellacked by the Baltimore Ravens.
All right, there you have it. There is the 2023 redraft.
Joey Porter Jr. should probably also be mentioned.
Okay.
He's been really good. It's been in light work, but he's been really, really good.
Jack Campbell.
He was genuinely god-awful abhorrent against the Baltimore Ravens. And now don't quote me on this because I don't remember exactly how the PFF scale goes. I am pretty sure that the Detroit Lions could have played a scarecrow that they stuck in the ground at the 35-yard line, and it would have been better than Jack Campbell last week.
Really? Did not realize he was that bad.
Oh, the tape was horrific.
West Virginia.
Sam Laporta was another one that should have been mentioned.
I mean, that's a no-doubter to me. Somebody that reached for him in the 20s. Maybe the late teens.
He would have gotten into the teens.
Mm-hmm.
West Virginia Willie said Deontay Banks. He is a dog. I agree with you completely. This is going to, and we do this every year. Oh, this draft class is not as good. Well, weird. 7 weeks into the season, we're arguing over 15 and 20 that we wanted to cram into the top 10.
Yeah.
Because after you said Laporta, I started thinking about it. Yeah, he should have been in the top 10 too. I just don't know where.
Yeah.
Because I couldn't have taken him over any of the guys I took.
No, absolutely not.
That's why I love the draft. It's the most magical time of the year. And Draftmas is coming again.
I mean,
boys and girls, get out your pens, get out your pencils, write your Draftmas list, and hope that Drafty Claus brings you all the toys that you want to play with next football season.
You are in the Sportsocracy, and this is ESPN Asheville. It's 92.9 FM, 880 AM, and 1400. Here in the Sportsocracy, we will be right back. We're back counting down to kickoff. Let's look at today's 3 keys to premium pre-gaming with Beast Unleashed, presented by Monster Brewing. Number 1, beat the heat.
Unleash the beast with bold, familiar flavors, 0 caffeine, and 0 sugar.
Number 2, running the option.
There's 4 to choose from: White Haze, Peach Perfect, Scary Berries, and my personal favorite, Mean Green.
And number 3, at 6% ABV, Max Protect.
Always drink responsibly, and you must be 21 or over.
Beast Unleashed, available at your local retailer.
I believe real estate isn't about properties. It's about people. I'm Clarissa Hyatt-Zach with eXp Realty, serving all of Western North Carolina. Navigating the home buying and selling journey can feel overwhelming at times, and that's why having an agent who cares about you and your needs is key. I'm a native of Western North Carolina, and I close over a home a week. I'm an expert in the market, pricing my sellers correctly to net you the most money, and working as a skilled negotiator for my buyers. Please give me a call today at 828-774-6343 to set up a complimentary market analysis.
The season we've all been waiting for is here. No, not that one. The season of the Big Orange Tent is underway in Western North Carolina. The area's largest selection of Halloween costumes, decorations, and accessories is at the Big Orange Tent at the Asheville Mall. Halloween Express is your one-stop shop for adult and child costumes, superheroes, horror icons, inflatable suits. You can find it all under the Big Orange Tent at the Asheville Mall. 10 to 8 Monday through Saturday, 12 to 6 on Sundays.
Running a small business is no small task. At Home Trust Bank, we work hard to prepare businesses for whatever tomorrow may bring. Your dreams are our business, and we have local experts who can help you plan for a successful future. Dependable guidance you need, and service you'll appreciate. At Home Trust Bank, we take your small business banking personally. Visit your local Home Trust branch or anytime at htb.com. Member FDIC.
Hi, I'm Kyle at Blindster.com. Since 2010, Blindster has sold millions of custom blinds, shades, and shutters to satisfied customers across the country with 20,000 5-star reviews and an A+ rating from the Better Business Bureau. Custom blinds at low prices and free shipping. Blindster.com.
When seasonal allergies and clogged sinuses make you miserable, you want fast relief. But recently, there's confusion about which cold and allergy products work and which ones don't. In fact, oral phenylephrine, a drug found in many oral decongestants in the cold and allergy aisle, is currently being evaluated by the FDA because it may be ineffective. Luckily, there's a drug-free solution called Navage that for many provides on-the-spot relief. Navage is the natural way to relieve congestion by sucking out the allergens, germs, and mucus that can make you stuffy and miserable. Nasal irrigation works, and Navage makes it quick and easy, but more than anything, it helps you breathe better. Navage uses powered suction to pull saline in one nostril, around the back of the nose, and out the other nostril. Trust drug-free Navage so you can breathe better, snore less, and feel healthier. Ask for Navage at Walmart, Walgreens, CVS, Rite Aid, Target, or find us online at Navage.com. Navage, N-A-V-A-G-E, clean nose, healthy life.
The Gillette Intimate Trimmer gives you a gentle, easy way to trim your pubic region. Or you could try waxing. Nope. From America's #1 trusted men's grooming brand, the best a man can get, down there. Buy Gillette Intimate at a retailer near you.
The Sportsocracy.
Ice up, son. Ice up.
We're back in the Sportsocracy on ESPN Asheville. And Jim Irsay, he's a little peeved, as every owner should be, when you feel like you got hosed out of a game. That score fest that was the Indianapolis Colts Cleveland Browns this past week was the surprise to me of the weekend. Kept seeing the score updates on that, like, how is this happening right now? But lo and behold, we get down to the end of the game, and Indianapolis has the lead, and they ended up with an illegal contact call on Darrell Baker Jr. that ended up erasing a strip sack fumble recovery for the Indianapolis Colts.
And there were two potential issues with that call. One was that incidental contact, because it kind of looked like Amari Cooper just ran into him. And was the ball already out by the time that happened, because either one of those would have negated the penalty.
Right.
I did not think that was as bad a call until I went back and watched it a second time, and then I realized, nope, that one's bad. But it still wasn't the worst of the two.
Right, and then moments later, there was a pass interference penalty on a throw to Donovan Peoples-Jones.
That I'm pretty sure Victor Wembanyama would still have been 5 feet too short to catch.
This is the NFL referees realizing what a great freak athlete DPJ is. He could have got to that ball.
You're out of your gourd. That ball was 25 feet high.
All he needed was some of them little bouncy shoes like they used to put in the back of the athletics catalog.
That one I saw in live time and went, ooh.
Yeah, not a good one.
That's not going to age as well.
So, of course, after the game, Jim Irsay is going to follow up with the league and be like, are you sure that those were penalties?
And according to him, they admit and understand that those two calls were incorrect.
Yes.
Now, here's my question. What exactly does that matter?
Nothing. It doesn't mean anything.
We do this a lot where, the NFL admits they got the call wrong. Okay, but what are you going to do about it? That's like somebody, like your wife cheating on you and going, I admit and understand that I shouldn't have done that. Okay, but I'm still rather perturbed. It still happened.
There's nothing you can do to take it back. It's the same thing. Like there's nothing she can do to take back what she did. There's nothing the NFL can do to take back what some dumb referee did, right? And it's not even dumb referee, right? It's
the second one was.
It's those close.
The second one was if you've got an IQ above salad dressing, you could not possibly have thought that ball was catchable.
Right. But in most cases, it's just spur of the moment, quick judgment calls, and everybody's human. We're all going to make mistakes. Just referees are out there making their mistakes in front of everybody and the most rabid people in the world, sports fans.
Well, my question is,
it's cute.
How many times do we have to do this before we finally go, you know what? We've gotten better every year. All right, this year we got the accelerated replay. Can somebody please explain to me why every replay is not accelerated?
I don't know.
Why do I need an official to go watch a 7-inch Toshiba to see if he got this play wrong? When you've got somebody in New York already doing that on a big screen that they can see.
Yeah, but, I mean, we saw last week the inside of the control center, and it didn't look anything like I thought it would look like.
You know what it's better than? The sad, getting ready to get divorced guy television that we're watching replays on.
No doubt, but I honestly believe that we have more monitors in this studio right now than they do in the control center for refereeing in New York.
Well, they need to up their game.
I mean, no, I just thought
$14 billion. Let's build a man cave for these folks.
Right. Am I wrong on this? But did everybody else think that the Grand Central of refereeing in New York for the NFL was going to be sort of like, the war room that you see in all of the movies, right? You had like Independence Day, and you see everybody gets into the war room, and it's just like wall-to-wall televisions, and we've got surveillance on everybody. That's what I expected. I expected wall-to-wall televisions, and you show up, and there's two dudes with a cup of coffee and 4 screens. with 16 games going on at once, going, something could have been happening in the left corner of the monitor number 4, but I have no idea.
There are a couple things that I'm just never going to understand. I'm never going to understand how we have a sensor in the ball and we can't figure out where the ball is. My cell phone can figure out where an Uber driver is. And you're telling me $14 billion a year NFL can't figure out exactly where the ball's at.
Yeah.
I struggle to believe that.
Mm-hmm.
Then you get calls like this. These judgment calls, they should be reviewable. And you do the accelerated review because I'm so tired. And Gigi Gambling, I swear to God, I'm not calling you out specifically on this. It's just you said it and you beat me. You beat me to the punch of where I was headed with this. He reposted the thing about the Rams ref being suspended for being part of a gambling ring.
Oh yeah.
Okay, let me cut through where that story's not true. Was that official suspended? Yes. Was he suspended for impartial refereeing? Yes, because it was determined that he had done a couple things that he leaned one way. Mm-hmm. It had nothing to do with a gambling ring. Vegas already sorted that out. But this is what social media does. It grabs these stories that have a shred of truth, and then it accelerates them. And so you get to this point where you fund Kooky Madookie, which is not what I'm calling Gigi here. You give them the ammo that the game is rigged. Because I can tell you, after watching those two Colts calls on replay, mm-hmm. I understand how somebody that already thinks the NFL's rigged walked away from that going, yeah, that's proof. There's my proof right there, because that's an atrocious call. Mm-hmm. If you can get the call right, why do you not get the call right? You have the ability to do it. You have the cameras because you can show them in live time.
No doubt.
This drives my wife bonkers because obviously she gets the unenviable task of having to watch football with me every Sunday. And within 2 replays, I can go, ball's out, ball's not out, whatever the case may be. How are the officials not doing that? Why do we have to stop and look at something for 2.5 minutes every time we do this? You got to have a war room that can go, nope, we're influencing the end of a game. Got to fix that. Or if things start getting in the Philadelphia game, the officials literally took over for a quarter. You should have HQ in New York going, all right, boys, we're getting a little way too ticky-tack here with the flags. We understand calling penalties, but you have dominated the television coverage here. Mm-hmm. If the official is ever the story, you're doing it wrong. Mm-hmm. If I walk away from a game and I even remember who called it, you did it wrong. I know the name of every head official in the NFL. If I can remember who called the game, you probably did something wrong.
Right.
And you affected the outcome of a game in some shape, form, or fashion.
Right. I still find it adorable that Jim Irsay thinks this, or anybody thinks this means anything. They admitted their mistake. Well, that's wonderful, but we can't go back and change anything. It
rallies the fan base of, see, I'm out here stumping for you, and I got the NFL to admit they were wrong.
Yeah.
Phenomenal. That was about worth the tweet you put out.
No doubt. No doubt.
Which, let me know when they start cutting those Twitter checks, because I'm here for it.
You're in the Sportsocracy, and this is ESPN Asheville. When we come back, it'll be time for the most important message of the day.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
Looking good and feeling great. Nothing changing from what I was thinking earlier. It may not rain here for the next week or longer. Lots of sunshine today, 75. Tonight we'll dip back to about 50, mainly clear 40s out in the suburbs. Thursday, sunny, 75. Friday, mostly sunny in the upper 70s, and lather, rinse, repeat with the sunshine into the weekend. Saturday and Sunday, sunny and even warmer, up near 80. From the Weather Channel, I'm Ray Stajic.
This report is sponsored by Blindster.com.
Hi, I'm Kyle at Blindster.com. Since 2010, Blindster has sold millions of custom blinds, shades, and shutters to satisfied customers across the country with 20,000 5-star reviews and an A+ rating from the Better Business Bureau. Custom blinds at low prices and free shipping. Blindster.com.
Jim Gaffigan here with some more Straight Talk. Now you can get a Walmart Plus membership, plus not pay for it, because it's included with Straight Talk wireless plans. You get free delivery with Walmart Plus a Paramount Plus subscription included. Plus, you pay less for gas. That's a lot of pluses.
Only Straight Talk gives you unlimited 5G data and Walmart Plus included on select plans for free.
Straight Talk Wireless, available at Walmart.
Requires service on Gold or Platinum Unlimited. One offer per eligible account. Paramount Plus Essential Plan only. Separate registration required. Additional terms apply.
Pain in your knees, shoulders, hip, or back that won't go away? Check out QC Kinetics for long-lasting relief. No surgery, drugs, or downtime. QC Kinetics, 828-333-9517. With locations in Asheville and Greenville.
Spring fire season is here, and you are the best defense against wildfires. Make sure to have a water hose, bucket, steel rake, and a shovel for tossing dirt on the fire. Keep your phone with you in case you need help, and never leave a fire unattended. Learn more at ncforestservice.gov.
iHeartRadio wants to send you to see the sold-out Sick New World Festival on April 27th in Las Vegas, VIP style. System of a Down, Slipknot, Alice in Chains, and many more. We'll take care of everything. Just open the free iHeartRadio app and listen to Rock Nation Radio, and you'll be automatically entered.
If cleanliness is next to godliness, look around the car right now. Is that very godly? Look, life comes at you fast, but so does WBNC Auto Detailing. They have the tools to make your interior look like it's coming off the showroom floor. You don't believe me? Check them out on Instagram. All that filth and years of stains disappear. WBNC Auto Detailing does full interior and exterior details with paint correction, and they do wax and ceramic coatings. Call WBNC Auto Detailing at 455-3700. Premium care with a Southern hospitality touch.
At Ingles, we're proud to sponsor area athletics at all levels. Whether we're building new fields for T-ball, celebrating Friday night rivals, televising college basketball games, bringing the Fan Fest to semi-pro soccer, or taking you out to the ball game at your minor league park. We're here for the fans. No one gets the dedication to the home team like you guys. And we've got all the sports you can handle. It's all in the bag. Ingles. Low prices. Love the savings.
Back in the Sportsocracy, and it's time for the most important message of the day. Jeremy Green?
Don't do crimes!
Yeah, let's go to... where?
I'm going to Poland.
Okay.
My story is about a 22-year-old man, and he is a badman. But I will give him credit. He is a crafty badman. He's a thief. He walked into a department store. This is all caught on surveillance camera.
Mm-hmm.
He walked into a department store and noticed that none of the employees were paying attention to him. So he grabbed a bag and stood in the window like a mannequin. And no one noticed him for 4 hours, to the point of they closed the store, and then he helped himself to the little buffet of accompaniment that he was left privy to.
Nice.
I must say, this is really, really resourceful. Now, you got caught because there was a camera staring directly at you. So when he broke from his stance and robbed not only the store that he was in, but the jewelry stand across the way, it was really easy for them to catch and apprehend him.
Mm-hmm.
But I'll give you an A for effort. I mean, if you're going to do crimes, this is resourceful crimes. But don't do that. And now he faces up to 10 years in prison.
Nice. My story comes to us from
Florida.
There you go. There's a Florida story. All right, let's pull up the Florida story here. I actually had two. I was going to see if you'd guess another one. Maybe I had that one.
Piscataway, New Jersey.
Damn. How did you do that?
Is that where it was from?
My second story is from New Jersey. I'll tell that one in just a second. Real quick, Flagler County, Florida. Police got called to a neighborhood where there was a man out in the middle of the street, and he was acting belligerent and arguing with another woman. Well, as the body camera will show you, if you want to look this story up later, officers started yelling at Sean Madden to calm down, get on the ground, and at one point, it sounds to me, and it's a body camera, so it's hard to hear exactly what's being said, but it sounds to me like the cop got tired of saying, get on the ground, and he said, drop him. And he did. He dropped him.
Oh, he went full Dio?
He dropped his pants.
Oh, yeah. You never do that.
Get down on the ground. Okay, bow. And just there's a naked man in the street yelling at the police. He was taken into custody without much further incident, but that's definitely not the way that you're going to handle that. All right, let's go to New Jersey. This is actually in Camden, New Jersey, not in Piscataway, as Jeremy had said, where there is a 34-year-old man who is now facing murder charges. Jose Rivera, arrested the other day after at 12:45 in the afternoon on October the 15th in the area of 7th and Bailey Streets, he shot dead Jose Rivera. There's two guys named the same name. Jose Rivera killed Jose Rivera.
That's going to be a very confusing trial.
Gun violence. Yeah, they have to keep referring to them. Jose O. Rivera, who was the shooter. Jose G. Rivera, who was, sadly enough, the victim.
And as somebody that served on a jury in the last 12 months, I can tell you, it doesn't take much to confuse a jury of your peers.
Don't do crimes. It is the Sportsocracy, and so in the chat, who did this come from?
Rich Vital.
Rich Vital was asking us what?
Over the course of the next 5 weeks, which teams will change their narrative?
Okay.
And I had a couple that came to my mind, but immediately.
Mm-hmm.
One of them is my New York Jets.
Mm-hmm.
Over the next 4 weeks, they play the New York Giants, which is technically a road game, even though it's in their own stadium, the L.A. Chargers, the Las Vegas Raiders, and the Buffalo Bills.
Mm-hmm.
Do you realize how ridiculous this is going to get if they win all 4 of those? And I think they'll win 3 of the 4.
Yeah.
They'll kill the Raiders.
So that point you'll be 6-4?
If you went 3-1, you would be 6-4. Yes.
Okay. All right. Okay. But what narrative does that change?
That they're actually a legit playoff contender.
Yeah.
Because you got to understand, the backside of this schedule is it's not particularly all that daunting. Especially if, let's just, for argument's sake, I'm not trying to incite the Browns fans. I'm really not. Let's say your offense hits a great big speed bump. They play them in week 17.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a possibility, as tough as that division is, if they're not going to make the playoffs, they're already eliminated.
Mm-hmm.
New England will already be eliminated.
Mm-hmm.
Washington will already be eliminated. Houston could already be eliminated. And Atlanta's not very good.
Yep.
There's a lot of potential wins on this schedule. Now, with this team, there could be a lot of potential losses too. And that was why they were the first team that came to my mind. Is right now they're like a mid-tier contender. If you go 2-2 in this stretch, I feel like that takes you out.
Mm-hmm.
Because then you're going to have to win a game you're not supposed to.
Right, you're just going to have to pick up one of those Miami games or
to
something.
get to 10-7.
Yeah.
If you go above the line, then you're a legit contender. If you go below it, then you're completely eliminated. None of it matters.
Record-wise, I agree with you. Record-wise, more people will come around to at 6-4. Okay, let's really consider that the New York Jets, if we are not already, are a threat to the playoffs. But the only way that this narrative any narrative gets flipped for you guys is if Zach Wilson starts playing much better.
Starts 2 turnovers in 4 weeks.
Yeah,
that's all I need. That's all I need from you.
Yeah,
that's all I need from you, there, Cherub. Just keep not throwing the ball to the guy not wearing a shirt that looks like yours.
Can you average over 20 points a game in these games?
I don't think you have to.
Yeah.
With a defense that good, I don't think you have to.
I feel like you're going to have to. But
which one of those teams do you really think scored a lot of points on them? The Giants, the Chargers, Las Vegas Raiders.
The Chargers have the ability. The Buffalo Bills have the ability. The Miami Dolphins have the ability. Whether they can or not.
I didn't say the Miami
different.
Dolphins.
Oh, I know that.
I mean, a lot of teams have the ability. The problem is that none of them play them in the next 3 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
When you can't, if you're one-dimensional playing that Jets team, you are LMNO screwed.
Mm-hmm.
Philadelphia Eagles learned that the hard way. Because eventually, they're going to figure out what you're doing, and if you give them enough opportunities, they can beat you.
Okay.
And that was with the backup corners.
Okay. Who else is flipping a narrative in 5 weeks?
The other team that immediately came to me was the Detroit Lions. Because I feel like people tapped out on them same old Lions, after they got shellacked by the Ravens. You know who they play this week?
The Raiders.
The Raiders. Then you get a bye week. Then you go Chargers, Bears, Packers, New Orleans Saints, Bears again, Denver Broncos, Minnesota Vikings. There's not many losses there.
No.
Let's just go absolute worst case scenario. Do you get to 2?
No.
I don't either. And so I feel like all of that momentum, you give it a month, we're going to be right back in the same boat.
No doubt.
And we'll be looking at that Baltimore game going, man, that was a weird little one-off, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm. I don't know about flipping a narrative, so to speak, but I'm really going to be excited to see how well the AFC North contenders come out over the next 5 weeks.
Well, somebody's going to be eliminated in the next 5 weeks.
No doubt. Baltimore.
And I don't think it's going to be Baltimore.
Baltimore goes at Arizona, Seattle, Cleveland, Cincinnati, at the LA Chargers. That's not easy by any stretch. Seattle goes at San Francisco, Buffalo, Houston, at Baltimore, and then Pittsburgh. Woof. Cleveland at Seattle, Arizona, at Baltimore, Pittsburgh, and then at Denver. So they got an easier stretch than those other two. I just feel like that race is going to come to a close, or I guess there's going to be some separation in that race. And then the next 5 games for the Pittsburgh Steelers, who don't they have the lead right now in the division, or are they just behind Baltimore?
They're just behind Baltimore.
Yeah,
Baltimore's 5-2.
Yeah, Jacksonville, Tennessee, Green Bay, Cleveland, Cincinnati, both Cleveland, Cincinnati on the road. Nobody has 5 easy games, and nobody has fewer than 3 super difficult matchups in the next 5 weeks in that division.
I believe there's a better answer to this. It's your Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Okay.
At Buffalo, at Houston, Tennessee, at San Francisco, at Indianapolis.
Mm-hmm.
There's 4 losses in that stretch. There are 4 games on the road. You will lose 4 of them. I'm not 100% sure. Yeah, you're not going to lose to Tennessee. They'll still be playing Will Levis.
I was going to say, what are they going to do? They're going to run the ball on that team? I don't think so. Not to any great degree, anyway. I don't know that there are as many no doubt losses in there as you think there are. But you're not beating Buffalo. You're not beating San Francisco for sure. And those other games are not going to be easy. Anybody who thinks that this team is at the top of the NFC South right now and is just, it was just a stumble against Atlanta, they'll figure it out. No, I don't believe they will.
Well, that's 4 or 5 on the road.
Mm-hmm.
That's a really tough stretch for anybody.
No doubt.
And I don't know if you've ever looked at the home and away splits for Baker Mayfield. He's a slightly different guy on the road, and he ain't that great at home in the first place.
Okay. All right.
But I'm just looking at that DeMeco Ryans defense and that Indy defense that it has players.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think that's going to go that. I don't see better than 2-3 coming out of that. And if you're 2-3, even if you're hanging around, people are very quickly going to come to your and I way of thinking on this is like the definition of 16.
Yeah.
17 at best.
Yeah, best case scenario are 3-2 coming out of that, and even at that, I don't know. I don't know what I project for the rest of the season because I feel like you're going to continue to be in these one-score games every week.
There's another one. This is not in the next 4 weeks, but it's after their bye.
Mm-hmm.
Have you looked at what Philadelphia gets in that 5 weeks after their bye?
I'm looking at it right now.
At Kansas City, Buffalo, San Francisco, at Dallas, at Seattle.
Nice.
Good gracious.
Who'd you tick off? Jeez. And even to get Dallas before the bye.
Yeah. You get Washington this week. That'll be. Oh, by the way, let me give you a solid piece of advice. For those of you that don't listen to our fantasy show on Sunday mornings, you should. This week, we were just handing out dollars. It was like we were flying the Goodyear blimp over the city of Asheville, just throwing out doubloons. Play the Philadelphia defense this week. You'll like the way it looks.
Mm-hmm.
I guarantee it.
Mm-hmm. They could have 8 sacks at least
in the first half. They could have. The New York Giants had 6, and they had 5 the entire year before that. What do you think Hassan Reddick's getting ready to do?
Yeah. That's a very good point.
Philadelphia may have the backups in the second half, and Nolan Smith's going, I got to find a way to get on the field. And I'm going to hurt Sam Howell's feelings.
How do you feel about the Buffalo Bills right now? Uneasy, right?
I don't think they're making the playoffs. But it's because, and I said this Monday, it's because they have problems that I don't see how you're going to fix in season. Ken Dorsey's a bad play caller. I got a lot of Bills fans that commented when I said that they were too fixated on Stephon Diggs. Yeah, because he pouts anytime he doesn't get the ball. Well, that's kind of my point. Like this week, Gabriel Davis should be the play of the week because your Bucs love giving up deep plays, especially on the weak side. Do you feel like that's going to happen? Because I really don't. I feel like it should, and I'm not going to be surprised if it does.
Right.
I don't trust Ken Dorsey to figure that out. I just have this weird feeling they're going to throw it to Stephon Diggs 14 times.
Yep. 3 out of the next 5 weeks. They got at Cincinnati, at the Philadelphia Eagles, and a home date with the New York Jets. This is a team that in the next 5 weeks we're going to know for sure. If you're on the fence right now of this, they could figure it out. We're going to know in the next 5 weeks. Some narrative will be flipped there. And I'm really not sure where Josh Allen's brain is at right now. Let's take a quick break. We'll talk about that coming up next. Do you have any other 5-week
No,
game
those were the biggest ones that I saw. I'm looking at the grid, and basically the way my schedule grid is done is you've got positive matchups, which means you're playing teams that are in the bottom 12. Negative matchups, which are teams in the top 12, and then the 10 meaty clackers in the middle. And those are the ones that they have a lot that are not clear sales.
There you go.
So
okay. All right. When we come back from the break, we'll talk more about Josh Allen. What is actually happening with the Buffalo Bills and with their signal caller? And can this season be saved, or is it already going off the rails? You're in the Sportsocracy, and this is ESPN Asheville. The Asheville Championship returns to Harrah's Cherokee Center in Asheville November 10th and 12th. This year's field is the best yet. The Clemson Tigers, Maryland Terrapins, Davidson Wildcats, and the Blazers of UAB. 4 exciting matchups with a champion to be crowned in one of the premier early season tournaments in college basketball. For more information and to get your tickets, go to AshevilleChampionship.com. That's AshevilleChampionship.com. It all starts in Asheville November 10th and 12th. Proudly sponsored by Ingalls Markets.
Real estate isn't about properties, it's about people. I'm Clarissa Hyatt-Zach with eXp Realty, your native realtor serving all of Western North Carolina. I will work hard for you, and I believe in doing the right thing every time. I market each of my listings to reach out-of-town buyers. I use a professional photographer and drone video on every single listing, as well as collaborate with agents across the country to find your buyer. Check me out online at clarissasellswnc.com or give me a call at 828-774-6343. It would be my pleasure to assist you through the real estate process.
The best season of the year is here.
Tailgate season.
Monster Brewing presents this season's MVP,
The Beast Unleashed.
with 4 bold, familiar flavors.
With 0 caffeine and 0 sugar.
Beast Unleashed is your new pregame ritual.
With white haze, mean green, peach perfect, and scary berries, there's a flavor for every fan. The Beast Unleashed.
6% alcohol by volume. Unleashed responsibly. Must be 21 or over. Beast Unleashed available at your local retailer.
Now, you can relive the greatest moments from our 2023 iHeartRadio Music Festival.
Streaming only on Hulu.
Lenny Kravitz kicks things off with his biggest hits.
Foo Fighters get the whole crowd singing along.
Tim McGraw debuts his new song live.
Public Enemy brings the 90s hip-hop energy.
Fall Out Boy covers a classic while literally on fire. And so much more.
Relive the greatest moments from our iHeartRadio Music Festival.
Streaming now only on Hulu for a limited time.
Hey, nacho fries are back at Taco Bell, and there's even more fries to love. But they're not going to hang around forever, so don't wait. Or you might miss out on these hot, crisp fries covered in all those bold Mexican spices with delicious nacho cheese sauce. Or wait and just settle for flavorless fries. Regular, bland, spiceless, flavorless, flimsy, non-nacho fries. Just an absolute bummer of a fry.
Nacho fries are back. Get them today, only at Taco Bell. At participating U.S. Taco Bell locations for a limited time only while supplies last. Contact a local store for hours and participation which vary.
I love having a go-to place to talk to other parents raising kids with learning challenges.
The community on here is open. I don't feel judged when I ask questions.
Looking to connect with other parents raising kids with ADHD or dyslexia? Join the Wonder app by understood.org. Some kids are wired differently, but all kids can thrive with the right support. With Wonder, not only will you find families like yours, you'll also get tips and advice from a team of leading experts. Download Wonder today or visit understood.org/iHeart to learn more.
The Sportsocracy.
That's horrible. No, you know what that is? That's horror awful. That's horrible and awful mixed together. Horror awful.
It is the Sportsocracy, ESPN Asheville. The Buffalo Bills, well, I mean, times are not great for them right now. Right, they've lost 2 out of the last 3. They had that terrible showing against the New York Giants in the middle of that they were able to score 2 touchdowns late to come back and win that game. Things have not been going well for this team since they came out and thumped the Miami Dolphins in Week 4, 48-20. And the question has been, what's up with Josh Allen, right? Everybody wants to know, where's Josh Allen's head at right now? Why is he not making the plays? Why is this offense not going? Jeremy, you've been very vocal about Ken Dorsey, and all of those criticisms are well taken. Yes, Ken Dorsey, he's not the play caller that Brian Daboll was. Maybe he doesn't have the relationship or the grasp of the offense or whatever it is. Things are different now. But focusing on Josh Allen specifically, yesterday he was talking to the media, and thanks to Outkick the coverage here for the coverage on this, in that little meeting with the press, he said that things are, well, here, I'll just read his quote, and you try to figure out where he's coming from. Because to me, it sounds a whole lot of Bull Durham-y kind of I'm stuck in my head stuff right now. He was talking about how he feels like he performs better when he tries to avoid getting too high in the game emotionally and getting too low. Because apparently that's been the criticism of him with his teammates and his coaches, is that sometimes he gets too involved, and I guess he tries to do too much. And then there are other times where he just takes himself out of the game. He gets too low. So he says, I'm trying to stay, this is a quote, just trying to stay in this state called low positive, quote unquote, where your energy is not super high and you're allowing your mind to think and be free and just stay on top of everything. Because obviously as the quarterback, there's a lot of things going through your mind. So if I can limit myself and my energy and my heart rate, felt like I can maybe think a little bit more. But who knows, maybe I need to think a little less and just play football. And then he continues to go down this path of thinking a little more, maybe not thinking too much, not thinking enough. Maybe I should just sit back and play football, or maybe I'm just too tired. He just sounds to me like a guy who doesn't know where he needs to be right now. And to me, that would be scary.
Well, the thing with Josh Allen, and this has been kind of you had it really in his rookie year. Then you had it for about a 3-year period in between of he either threw no interceptions or he threw 2 or more.
Mm-hmm.
Because he had more games with 2 interceptions than he had with 1. And it seemed like he had gotten out of that. And he's only done it 1 time this year.
Mm-hmm.
But there have been a lot of interception-worthy throws. And I think that's what he's trying to say, is that natural gunslinger in him, they're almost tampering that down. And I think it's to avoid making the mistake. The mistake.
Mm-hmm.
The thing you got to understand about Josh Allen, he's almost like a wild animal. And I swear to God, I'll explain what I'm talking about here. You can domesticate a tiger and turn it into a house cat. It's never going to be fluffy. It's never going to be the one that just sits on your couch and lays in your lap and lets you pet it. And then you're really not letting it do what it needs to do.
Mm-hmm.
Josh Allen's one of those players that he's going to turn the ball over. It's just going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
But when you start trying to neuter him the way that it feels like Ken Dorsey has, you're taking away the great, and all you're left with is the mediocre. Well, the mediocre is not a playoff team. The special, you got to hope it doesn't appear in a playoff game. Well, it happened in a playoff game last year against Cincinnati. It happened one time in a playoff game against Kansas City. That's bad luck.
Mm-hmm.
This is who you're invested in, and there's been really good. There hasn't been as much special as what I'm looking for. You saw a little of the special against Jacksonville at times, but then the bad crept in.
Mm-hmm.
And the thing I don't think Ken Dorsey has completely wrapped his brain around is I got to deal with the good with the bad. Because without the bad, I'm not going to get the good.
Yeah.
Because you've got to be forcing those tight window throws and making that special big arm throw, or you're not Josh Allen.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're not Josh Allen, the Buffalo Bills aren't the Buffalo Bills.
Yep.
And that's what leads me to thinking, I don't know how you're going to change this unless Josh Allen just brushes his shoulder off and goes, you know what, Kenny boy, I'm doing it my way.
Right.
And I'm not saying that's not going to happen.
Take the training wheels off and let me go. Although you got Stephon Diggs on the other side, who apparently appears to be part of this whole not too high,
There's
not too
no
low.
doubt he's part of it.
Yeah.
Because, look, one of the biggest problems is he respected Brian Daboll enough to go, he knows best. I don't think he respects Ken Dorsey.
Gotcha.
I think he goes, I know best. I need my targets. I'm going to be loud, and I'm going to be vocal.
Yeah.
That little outburst in the playoffs, did you ever see that with Brian Daboll? Because I didn't.
To me, it sounds like Josh has too many voices in his head.
I would
You're
agree with
a
that.
great football player, buddy.
Just go be great.
Go out there and sling it. And if it gets you the interception record, screw it. Brett Favre did the same thing. But you know what he won? A Super Bowl. You're in the Sportsocracy, and this is ESPN Asheville. We'll be back with you tomorrow here in the Ingalls studio at noon.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
Looking good and feeling great. Nothing changing from what I was thinking earlier. It may not rain here for the next week or longer. Lots of sunshine today, 75. Tonight we'll dip back to about 50, mainly clear 40s out in the suburbs. Thursday, sunny, 75. Friday, mostly sunny in the upper 70s, and lather, rinse, repeat with the sunshine into the weekend. Saturday and Sunday, sunny and even warmer up near 80. From the Weather Channel, I'm Ray Stajic.
It's the Asheville Turkey Trot 5K and Gobble Wobble, Thursday, November 23rd in downtown Asheville. The 23rd running of this great event starts at 9:15 Thanksgiving morning with the Gobble Wobble 1 mile fun run starting at 8:30. Part of the proceeds benefit Manna Food Bank. Last year, over 2,000 runners helped create 24,000 meals for Manna during the holiday season. So before you hit the buffet, come out and hit the streets. For more information and to get signed up, go to AshevilleTurkeyTrot.com. AshevilleTurkeyTrot.com. Proudly sponsored by iHeartMedia, Asheville.
Some intimate parts need the gentle, easy trim of a Gillette trimmer. And some need the closeness and comfort of a Gillette Intimate Razor. While others need a Gillette Anti-Chafe Stick. Gillette Intimate, the best a man can get, down there. Buy now.
From the Ingalls Studios, this is ESPN Asheville, WPEK, W225CJ Fairview, WMXF Waynesville, and iHeart